Americans without health insurance over the next decade.
Rachel Scott reports the bill will head to the Senate, where it's likely to face more challenges. The new Georgia tax credit for film and TV post-production work could give the state an edge in the film industry.
Bloomberg's Tax Insight team says Georgia's successful incentive program has fueled the state's prominence in the film industry and its overall economic growth, and says the state's approach could potentially lead other states to offer similar or even broader credits to stay competitive. Under the new law, Georgia's post-production companies can get a 20% tax credit and potentially more for qualified projects costing at least $500,000. The law takes effect starting with the 2026 tax year. I'm Bloomberg's Gina Cervetti for 95.5 WSB.
At 9:03, the Mark Arum Show begins in less than 2 minutes. Time now for live team coverage of traffic and weather. Triple Team Traffic begins with Smile and Mark McKay.
Trying to shake out the slow traffic, Cheryl, on the downtown connector. Hard to do when there's a breakdown smack dab in the center lane, 75-85 northbound before 17th Street, exit 251. We see it on the jam cam, and that's adding to the very slow traffic leaving 166 Langford Parkway, trying to clear downtown, heading up toward the Varsity. Still quite slow as well in northeast Atlanta as I-85 rolls in from Brookhaven, and that slow traffic south of Claremont Road. 400 still the struggle out of Buckhead as you leave Lenox Road. An unusual slowdown on the south side, Ashley Frasca.
Reportedly some cattle on the loose, and animal control vehicles and police are blocking the right lane out of Henry County at 75 south, about a mile or two past Highway 155. Again, they're working in the right lane there south of exit 216, causing a slowdown. Triple Team Traffic, 95.5 WSB.
I'm WSB meteorologist Christina Upwards. Mostly sunny today, breezy at times, high 81, lows tonight in the mid-50s. Tomorrow, sunny skies, high 79. Saturday, partly to mostly cloudy with an isolated rain shower possible, high near 80.
Right now, 67 degrees in Kennesaw, Norcross, another 67. You're at 68 in Powder Springs. We'll have more news at 9:30. Breaking news when it happens. I'm Cheryl Castro, 95.5 WSB.
Welcome, friends, to a very busy edition of the Mark Arum Show. So much to talk with you about today. Coming up in 30 minutes, going to get the latest on the slaying of 2 Israeli staffers last night. Kyle Cooper from WTOP is going to join us in D.C. 10:35, travel expert Peter Greenberg ahead of this big travel weekend, Memorial Day weekend. And on the heels of George Wendt's passing, Kelsey Grammer of Cheers fame is going to join us live on the show. Deborah's got tickets to give away to see Metallica. Another chance coming up next hour for you to win $1,000 in the 5K a day bonus splits. Got to start, though, with the big news that you heard this morning on Atlanta's Morning News. I was dubious 24 hours ago, but we have a budget bill passed.
On this vote, the yeas are 215, the nays are 214, with one answering present. The bill is passed.
That broke just before 7 this morning. The budget passes. Joining us live from the nation's capital, it's Capitol Hill reporter for CBS, Torian Small. Torian, good morning. How you holding up?
Good morning. I'm actually wide-eyed because I didn't start until 6 a.m. I went to bed pretty late last night, but didn't have to do an all-nighter, thankfully.
I mentioned that, on yesterday's show, I was dubious that this budget would get passed, but Speaker Mike Johnson got it across the line. Do we know what happened in the sausage making of this deal?
Yeah, so the past 48 hours have been pretty intense conversations between the White House and some pretty select holdouts. The House Freedom Caucus were really the folks that President Trump was concerned would be the ones to tank this bill. And this comes after weeks of folks like Chip Roy of Texas was saying that the bill was untenable because it did not have the deep spending cuts necessary to justify the massive $3.8 trillion price tag that comes with the passage of this bill. The lion's share of that obviously has to do with extending Donald Trump's 2017 tax cuts and making them permanent. Of course, Republicans justified this by saying there are cuts to Medicaid that they're calling waste, fraud, and abuse that could pay for this. It doesn't, according to the CBO, but it does save several $100 billion over the next couple of years. And that's what they're pointing to. And they're saying they're looking to right-size government spending moving forward to justify this. But what we ultimately saw happen in a razor-thin vote, 215 to 214, two Republicans siding with Democrats to vote no. One, Andy Harris, the congressman who is also the chairman of the House Freedom Caucus, voting present. And then two Republicans, oddly enough, not voting, not because of a protest of the vote, but according to the speaker, at least one of them fell asleep during the vote.
Which isn't surprising since they've been working all-nighters. So aside from the two that overslept and the one that voted present, who were the two Republicans that voted no on the big, beautiful budget, as it's been called?
It was Representative Tom Massey, who is I guess he's a libertarian more so than a Republican, but he always votes no when it comes to these massive government spending bills. He believes that it is wasteful, and he doesn't believe that it is representative of where his constituents would like to see the government go when it comes to fiscal responsibility. And then there was Warren Davidson. What's interesting about him, he's a representative from Ohio who hasn't really been too vocal about his opposition to this bill, but he is also one who has clashed with Donald Trump on his agenda before. This was someone who was plucked of his status as the chairmanship for another representative who's more in line with MAGA. But it's to be seen why he didn't vote yet. But I would imagine on top of the massive price tag that comes with this bill, he probably has reservations about cuts to those safety net programs, considering when you've seen a town hall over the past couple of months, a Republican town hall especially, you've seen a lot of angry constituents concerned about whether or not they could be at risk of losing their benefits.
CBS News Capitol Hill reporter Torian Small joining us live here on the Mark Arum Show. You mentioned the CBO. They project a big increase to our deficit, which I know is a concern for the Freedom Caucus. How was Speaker Johnson, President Trump, or a combination of both, able to swing enough Freedom Caucus voters, knowing that, according to the CBO, that this will add billions to our deficit?
Yeah, what happened over the past 24 hours, actually, and this is according to Congressman Andy Harris, the White House, after meeting with the Freedom Caucus, gave them a proposal. In this proposal, there were adjustments that they have pointed out that needed to happen. That was in pushing forward the work requirements that are attached to Medicaid. Originally in the proposal, it wouldn't kick in until 2029. I believe it would happen late 2026 now. There will also push forward some timeline when it comes to sunsetting Biden-era initiatives, especially green initiatives. That was something that they were pretty adamant about. And according to Representative Harris, the caucus at large were pretty satisfied with those changes. They felt that the president was working in good faith to get it done, so they decided to reward him on that. The question now, though, is this heads to the Senate, which is the next big hurdle for this bill because there are Republicans there with their own sets of reservations about the bill as it stands. We heard from Senator Rand Paul, who says it's just too costly. We also heard from Senator Josh Hawley of Missouri, who said that he also has concerns about whether or not his constituents could be negatively impacted by this change to Medicaid.
So what are the mechanics of this now? So it passes the House. Now it heads to the Senate. Mechanically, is the Senate going to come up with their own bill? Are they going to make adjustments and tweaks to the congressional bill? How does this all work now?
So the Senate will likely follow the House's lead on this. They'll take in the bill. The question is whether or not they would pursue procedural routes in order to make adjustments or amendments to this bill. If that happens, though, that bill then has to go back to the House for another vote. It has to be congruent. Whatever proposals come out of both chambers, they have to be congruent in order for it to reach the president's desk. The real concern for Speaker Johnson, I would imagine, would be anything that changes the language as it stands significantly could risk that very narrow majority that he had in order for this to pass. If it comes back, if senators pull things out of this or make any changes that are pretty drastic from what they received, then Speaker Johnson will have to go through the process of whipping up his conference again, which could be a fatal a fatal error in the progress of this bill.
Is there any sort of hard deadline for the Senate to do anything, or what's the timeline on them even starting to reconcile this bill?
That depends on when the president wants to sign it. Speaker Johnson said his only goal was to get this out of his chamber by Memorial Day weekend. We saw that happen. And it's up to the president to set the deadline or to, I guess, enforce a soft deadline. It's not anything that has to be done constitutionally, but he could tell senators he wants it before then. I believe Johnson previously said it would be ideal for the president to sign it by the 4th of July. It just depends. We're now approaching a week-long recess for the Memorial Day weekend. So what I would expect to happen is June would be a pivotal time for the Senate to mull this over to decide where the support stands for this bill.
All right, so a big hurdle has just been cleared, but perhaps a bigger one awaits the bill in the Senate. Torian Small, CBS News, Capitol Hill reporter. Get some rest over this recess, my friend. You deserve it.
Thank you.
All right, there you go. So there, Deborah, this is, 24 hours ago, it didn't look like it was going to happen, right? But he pulled it off. Speaker Johnson pulled it off, and he's now been, I think Axios dubbed him Magic Johnson, because he, pulled a rabbit out of his hat. The question is, does all the credit go to Speaker Johnson, or does it go to President Trump, or a combination thereof? Elena Treen from CNN at the White House this morning. The president himself really leaned on Congress to get this over the finish line.
Absolutely, and he made it very clear this week. Not only did he go to Capitol Hill himself to address the entire House Republican conference, he also had House Speaker Mike Johnson, as you just referred to as Magic Johnson, at the White House yesterday with some of those hardline House Freedom Caucus members to really convince them to get on board. And his message was really clear. He said a no vote on this bill would be, quote, the ultimate betrayal. And so the president made it very clear. If you're with me, you are going to vote yes on this bill. And if you're not, you're probably going to face some tough rhetoric and potentially problems down the line from his team here at the White House if you're not behind him. And that was really, I think, what helped muscle this bill through. Now, a couple of things, of course, to note. One is this bill is really going to be a crowning achievement for President Donald Trump. It's something they are talking about repeatedly. This is something they think will be a legacy-defining moment for him if it ultimately passes. It has all of the things that he talked about repeatedly on the campaign trail. One, of course, wanting to make sure that his 2017 tax cuts are made permanent. They were supposed to expire at the end of this year. But then also what he talked about with no taxes on tip, on overtime, on Social Security benefits, on auto loan interest deduction. So all of those things are in this bill. And when I talked to White House officials behind the scenes, they told me that was really what the president cared most about, getting his priorities in this. Of course, the sticking points related to how will you pay for this, and some, issues that this president may face down the line is how they did ultimately try to pay for this with Medicaid cuts and also cuts to SNAP benefits, many things that people are criticizing already. But the key thing to keep in mind, John, is that this fight is not over. Yes, it is a major success for President Donald Trump, for House Speaker Mike Johnson. But this bill is going to face a lot of issues once it gets to the Senate, and it's probably going to be reworked in many different ways. And this White House knows that, and they know that they have a lot of work that is still cut out for them to make sure that this can ultimately get through and ultimately to his desk to sign. But I can tell you they're going to be very happy with this news. I am sure we are just moments away from having another Truth Social post from this president.
Yeah, Vinny, get on Truth Social. Monitor if President Trump comments about the budget bill. Again, it passed this morning around 7 a.m. 215 yes votes, 214 nay votes, one answering present, a one-vote victory for Speaker Johnson and President Trump. And now it gets a little messier, perhaps, on the Senate floor with the reconciliation process. Republicans have been saying that despite what the CBO says about the increased numbers to our deficit, that the tax cuts will supercharge the economy and will create more revenue. So those deficits will be non-existent, and maybe there will actually be a surplus. Last night, Georgia Congressman Rich McCormick commenting on the budget battle.
It's irresponsible, and eventually most of our budget is going to be consumed by deficit debt payments. I mean, it's the servicing of that, and that's so irresponsible for our children. It's going to bring us to our knees in our currency standard. We've been downgraded by Moody's. That's the second time in 2 years. We're in trouble. I would love somebody to give me a better alternative right now.
Yeah, so that was the congressman last night before the budget bill passed this morning. He did vote yes for the budget. We've reached out to the congressman's office. Hopefully he can join us live because I'm in a complete agreement with him. Like, our biggest cost right now of all our taxpayer money, what you and I are paying, it's not for our bridges, our roads, our military. It's not for Medicare, Medicaid. The majority of our tax dollars that we sweat for are going just to pay down our debt. The big credit card debt, if you will, of the United States. And that, I agree with the congressman, has to stop. And hopefully we'll see movement on that and some sort of deficit reduction. But again, we've reached out to the congressman's office, and hopefully he will join us. We do have an update, by the way, as we approach this Memorial Day weekend. When are the best and worst times to travel, and what exactly will be closed at Lake Lanier this weekend? We'll tell you about that after this quick break and a check of the roads on this gorgeous, it's gorgeous out, beautiful weather. Is the traffic beautiful, Mike Shields?
Some spots market is, but Atlanta traffic always busy, especially in DeKalb County on the southeast leg of the perimeter where we have a car on its side right now. Travel advisory, 285 northbound, the outer loop right at I-20 exit 46, 2 right lanes blocked, bumper to bumper as you leave I-675. So really your last chance to exit off and avoid this is Moreland Avenue exit 53. Take that north to I-20 eastbound as a wide alternate. This report is brought to you by Whole Foods Market. Get premium entrees at Whole Foods Market. Save 20% on new antibiotics ever beef top sirloin steaks with Prime through May 27th while supplies last. Shop in store online. Terms apply. I'm Mike Shields, 95.5 WSB.
It pays to have the WSB radio app. Download it today and get ready for the Blitz.
Oh my God.
The WSB 5K a day bonus blitz. 5 chances a day to win $5,000.
It's a Blitz.
The WSB 5K a day bonus blitz.
Your next chance to win is coming up at 10 a.m.
Oh, that's cool.
From 95.5 WSB.
Download the WSB radio app now.
If you're ready for real European car lovers to work on your Porsche, Mercedes-Benz, BMW, Audi, discover Wolfpan European Auto Repair in Roswell. And for a limited time, get a free second opinion on repairs when you mention you heard about Wolfpan on the radio. Search Wolfpan Auto Repair to get started.
I'm here with Chris Hoffman, the founder of Hoffman Financial Group, to discuss one of the biggest blind spots that people face when saving for retirement, and it's a head-scratcher. Chris, how do so many people not know what they're invested in?
That's the biggest flaw that everybody runs into. They think they know what equities they have, they think they know what bonds they have, but they really don't know how those mutual funds or how those index funds are performing in conjunction with one another. So, I would liken this to a big pot of soup, and we're just throwing all the ingredients in the refrigerator in this thing. It's not very good. It's just a mishmash of stuff. And sometimes you like the way it tastes. Sometimes you don't. And when you don't know why. You don't know if you got too much chicken in there or too much vegetables in there or what's going on. And I ask every caller that comes in for an initial consultation, do you know how your portfolio is broken down? And they say, well, I've got, 20 or so options in my 401k, and I just picked 2 of them or 3 of them. I thought I needed some international. I thought I needed some U.S. equities. I thought I needed some bonds. And they're just guessing. So you have to absolutely know what you're invested in, and that's where we will run the 401k portfolio x-ray for you, because that'll break it down. If you're not proficient at investing and don't understand this world, we will walk you through it. Not knowing what you're invested in is a big hindrance to growing and protecting your money. We will run a portfolio x-ray for you and educate you on exactly what's in your portfolio.
Set up a time to get your complimentary portfolio x-ray today. Call the Hoffman Financial Group at 404-737-3858. That's 404-737-3858, or book online at unleashyourmoney.com. Investment advisory services offered through Brookstone Wealth Advisors, a registered investment advisor. Insurance and annuities offered through Hoffman Financial Group Incorporated, Georgia Insurance License number 163546.
Men, trouble in the bedroom? Not anymore. Priority Men's Medical Center restores your love life in just one visit. Their painless breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE. Here's a specialist in men's health.
I'm Dr. Simovitz. Have Viagra or Cialis let you down? Priority Men's Medical Center offers the most effective treatments that eliminate ED and PE, with men lasting longer than ever. 98% of patients see instant results on their first visit.
Priority Men's Medical Center's breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE, regardless of age or medical history. Your consultation and first treatment are free. You'll see instant results in the office. Plus, qualified patients get their testosterone checked free. Call 404-885-8885. 404-885-8885. To restore your love life in just one visit, call now. 404-885-8885.
Turn your backyard into your family's favorite hangout to have fun, entertain, and celebrate this summer in a Bullfrog hot tub from Brown's Pools and Spas. Only Bullfrog offers the Jetpack Therapy system, allowing you to customize each seat to fit every body in your family. Right now, shop the Memorial Day hot tub sale. Instant rebates up to $2,500 or a free audio upgrade on select models. Hurry, offer ends May 27th. You'll be so glad you went to Brown's Pools and Spas. BrownsPools.com.
Hot water heater just not cutting it anymore? You don't get that piping hot shower you want every morning? Hey, it's Mark Aaron back from my friends at Reliable Heating and Air. Check out this amazing deal. New water heater, only $29.99 a month, and make no payments for 3 whole months. Or you can go tankless, only $59.99 a month, and you can enjoy that lovely, endless hot water. Same day water heater installation guaranteed, or they pay you $300. Get that new water heater now. Save a ton of money. Just go online to reliableair.com.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. We recently received a call from an injured person. The insurance company had offered them $11,000. We took the case over and got more than $2 million in court. Morgan & Morgan.
Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
I'm going to call it a Thursday miracle. Deborah did not take off for Morrissey's birthday. Happy 66 to Morrissey. You're a big Morrissey fan, right, Deborah?
You know, Morrissey was going to be at the Fox, and we reached out, and they just said flat out, no, he doesn't do interviews.
Do they know that Longoria has a Morrissey tattoo on his lower left thigh?
I do, yeah.
Inner
Morrissey
thigh?
just does not care.
Yeah, no, I believe. 60, he's such a man. Love Morrissey. Anyway, happy birthday, Morrissey. All right, so yesterday we were talking about the Corps of Engineers closing a bunch of parks and access points at Lake Lanier because of budget cuts. Apparently, the aforementioned Congressman Rich McCormick, pulled some weight and got that number down. What do we know this morning, Deborah, about what's open or what's not at Lake Lanier?
Well, there's 2 different lists here. One of them says there's now 11 rather than 20. They were going to, or 21 were going to originally be closed. Now it's down to 11. So there's 10 more, but they still don't have an official list of which parks are going to be closed, which is very annoying because we still don't know where to go.
So we don't. We do not have an official list. Okay,
Mm-mm.
so it's
the Army Corps of Engineering has one list, but that's like 22, and then it says it's been reduced to 11, but we don't know which 11 of the 22 are open.
All right, it's a big lake. Listen, the Army Corps of Engineers operates 37 parks and campgrounds, 10 marinas, and Lake Lanier Islands. It leases out 40 parks and campgrounds to local governments, other organizations. Unclear at this moment what 11 sites will be closed, but that's down from the original 21 that were planned. So obviously the head engineer of the Army Corps of Engineers heard us talking about it yesterday on the show and decided to do something about it. So we'll get the very latest as soon as it becomes available. Real quick, Deborah, Memorial Day travel times. When's the best and worst time to travel this Memorial Day?
All right, well, Memorial Day travel is starting today. Maybe some people are already on the road. Worst time for today is right when we get off, right? 1 to 9 p.m. is going to be a really busy time. I know, right? Luckily, you're not too far, so you don't have a lot to worry about. And then Fridays, noon to 8, Saturday, 2 to 6, and Sunday, 1 to 5. So those are really the afternoon hours are going to be the busiest for the roads here. Best times tend to be early in the morning, like before noon, before 11 a.m. People just not morning people. So if you do need to travel, drive anywhere, do it before noon.
Saturday, 7 a.m. I told Maya that's
Yeah.
when we're headed to the airport. All right. Thank you, Deborah. And again, if we get more information from the Army Corps, we'll pass it along. Coming up next on the show. The sound of a murderer moments after he slayed 2 Israeli embassy workers. Horrible story overnight from D.C. We'll go to Kyle Cooper from WTOP in D.C. next for the latest on this breaking story. Stay with us. It's the Mark Arum Show on 95.5 WSB.
Welcome to Window Wisdom with North Georgia Replacement Windows.
Today, we're talking with the experts about Infinity from Marvin fiberglass windows. Ted Kirk and Jonathan Cullum, owners of North Georgia Replacement Windows.
Jonathan, many people may think a window is a window. Tell us how the Infinity fiberglass window is different.
Well, fiberglass is a thermoset material instead of a thermoplastic like vinyl and most other composite windows. This means other windows will be disfigured by extreme heat and cold, whereas a thermoset fiberglass window will not.
We do experience some extreme climates in Georgia sometimes. What does this mean for homeowners when it comes to windows?
Very simply, other windows lose their energy efficiency over time, but the Infinity fiberglass windows have a fit that never quits and energy efficiency that lasts. Our windows are the most durable, long-lasting solution available.
Energy efficiency is very important, but what do the windows look like? Will we have to compromise on the looks of the windows?
Not at all. Infinity windows are beautiful, not big and bulky like vinyl windows. Our windows are designed to look like traditional wood windows without the upkeep.
Okay, so the window material is durable and the product looks great. What can a homeowner expect during the installation?
We understand that this may be your one and only window replacement project, so we keep you updated every step of the way. Your detailed installation will be quick, clean, and hassle-free. We also stand behind all of our installations with a lifetime service warranty.
Jonathan and Ted, thank you so much for sharing your knowledge, experience, and expertise. Right now at North Georgia Replacement Windows, it's time for stars, stripes, and special savings. You'll save up to 20% off your entire project, plus up to 12 months no interest, no payments. Visit our beautiful new showroom in Alpharetta and check out all the details on these special offers at ngwindows.com. ngwindows.com.
Infinity from Marvin, replacement windows, yeah!
Live from the Superior Plumbing Studios.
News,
weather,
traffic.
95.5 WSB.
Atlanta's News and Talk.
It's 9:30. I'm Cheryl Castro. News brought to you by Beaver Toyota of Cumming. Our top local story, it's new this morning. A major automaker announces plans to bring hundreds of new jobs to Metro Atlanta.
Mercedes-Benz says it will centralize its North American operations to its existing U.S. headquarters in Sandy Springs, bringing with it up to 500 new jobs. 800 people already work there. The move's expected to be complete by August 2026. The automaker also announcing plans to build a new multi-million-dollar research and development facility nearby. Governor Kemp says the state continues to attract world-class companies, saying Georgia is, quote, the best state for business and opportunity. Austin Eller, 95.5 WSB.
Happening now, police are searching for the parents of a 3-year-old who was found abandoned on Belfort Road in southeast Atlanta. Officers say the child had some minor scratches and bruises and appeared to be suffering from malnutrition when found last night just before 10:30. The child is being treated at Children's Healthcare of Atlanta's Hugh Spalding Hospital. New this morning, a small private jet crash lands into a dense neighborhood in San Diego. San Diego Assistant Fire Chief Dan Eddy says at least 15 homes are impacted.
We have hazmat on scene right now. We've asked for more resources to come for that and working with the military. So we have jet fuel, and then we had multiple cars that were on fire when we first got on scene too.
First responders are going door to door to see who is affected. Right now, no word on any injuries or deaths. Fire investigators are working to determine the cause of an overnight house fire in East Point. The homeowner says a faulty electrical outlet may be to blame for sparking the blaze at the house on Harlan Drive. And she says her son alerted her to the fire just after 3 a.m. The pair and their dog were able to get out safely. Firefighters were able to put it out, and the home is, though, left with some significant damage. The House passes President Trump's tax break and spending package to up the big, beautiful bill after marathon sessions. On the House floor, House Speaker Mike Johnson urges the Senate to send the bill for President Trump's signature.
To our friends in the Senate, I would just say the president is waiting with his pen. The American people are waiting for this relief.
The bill includes new Medicaid work requirements that kick in earlier, cuts to green energy, tax credits, and an increase in state and local tax deductions. The Congressional Budget Office says the tax provisions would add nearly $4 trillion to federal deficits. Well, it is the last day of school for Fulton County, but at 2 elementary schools, it is the last day ever.
School bells ring for the final time today at Park Lane Elementary in East Point and at Spalding Drive Elementary School in Sandy Springs. Despite strong community opposition, the board voted on closures in February Board member Lily Pizatek said then,
This will impact the entire county. So I want to make sure that we can support all of our students by giving them the very best educational opportunities and facilities across the board.
a group of Spalding Drive parents offered the county $10 million to allow them to convert it to a charter school, but the board has instead decided to repurpose it as a teaching museum and archives facility. Graham Carroll, 95.5 WSB.
And MomoCon kicks off today. More than 60,000 attendees are expected in Atlanta for a weekend of cosplay, animation, gaming, music. The convention runs through Sunday at the Georgia World Congress Center. The Atlanta Convention and Visitors Bureau estimates the convention to have an economic impact on Metro Atlanta of more than $42 million. It's 9:33. Time to check traffic and weather as we start with Mike Shields live in the WSB 24-hour traffic center.
And Cheryl, good news as I speak. All lanes just reopening as they had to hold them for just a few minutes to move a crash, a vehicle on its side, upright it, move it to the right shoulder into Cobb County, southeast leg of the perimeter, 285 northbound the outer loop right at I-20. All lanes just reopened, but bumper to bumper as you leave I-675. Those delays should ease, but getting slow into Fairburn with left lane roadwork setting up once again now. 85 southbound approaching Senoia Road, exit 61, delays leaving Highway 138. You can always use Highway 29 as an alternate. I'm Mike Shields, 95.5 WSB.
This is WSB meteorologist Christina Upward. Sunny skies today, breezy with a northwest wind gusting 25 miles per hour. Today's highs 81, lows tonight in the mid-50s. Tomorrow, mostly sunny, high 79. Saturday, partly to mostly cloudy with an isolated rain shower possible, high near 80.
Right now, sunny, 69 degrees in Duluth. You're at 70 in Mableton, 68 degrees in Milton. More news at 10 o'clock. Breaking news when it happens. I'm Cheryl Castro, 95.5 WSB.
Get the WSB radio app.
This story is breaking right now.
Get notifications from your source for news.
If you have the WSB radio app, then you saw the breaking news.
Get the WSB radio app.
Don't miss a thing with the WSB app.
Download it from the App Store today.
On this vote, the yeas are 215, the nays are 214, with one answering present. The bill is passed.
Still to come, more on the budget passage on the floor of Congress. But next, a horrific murder in D.C. We go to the nation's capital next on the Mark Arum Show.
Hope. It's more than a word. It's a breakthrough in the making. At City of Hope, we're pushing the boundaries of science, targeting cancer at the molecular level, with teams of experts working together to personalize a treatment plan right down to your DNA with unprecedented speed, making every second count, with appointments in as little as 24 hours. City of Hope, advancing cancer care at life-saving speed. Learn more at cityofhope.org.
Home's your happy place, but not when critters bust in, and it happened to me. Mark Arum here for Breda Pest Management. My wife and I were shocked to see two beady little eyes in the basement. So gross. Breda kicked those critters out, and we're still protected with their wildlife guarantee, even if they chew a new entry point. No one else covers that. Breda, they handle bugs and critters. BREDA Pest.com.
Breda, no need to be afraid of bugs.
When it comes to your home, quality is crucial. Trust the Plus. Painting Plus. The Plus means siding, gutters, windows, decks, porches, roofing, and of course, painting.
Hi, I'm Charlie, owner of Painting Plus and the Plus family of businesses. Quality comes first. We have the most experienced exterior craftsmen in the industry.
If your home's exterior has it, the Plus can improve it. Painting Plus. Siding, gutters, windows, decks, porches, roofing, and more. Trust the Plus. PaintingPlus.com.
Mom and Dad seemed different after a European-style holiday on MSC Cruises.
Call us Cloud and Yvette.
The ship had restaurants, shops, and nightlife.
La Galleria.
And of course, American touches, like an aqua park and a sweets shop.
American je ne sais quoi.
Mom, you're from Wisconsin.
Wisconsin, Kevin. Book now and save up to 40% off, plus kids sail free. MSC Cruises. Let's holiday. To book, visit msccruises.com or contact your travel advisor. Restrictions apply. Ships registered in Panama and Malta.
9:37. Welcome back to the Mark Arum Show. A stark reminder. I'm shaking you verbally. 10:18 this morning. I'm going to give you another keyword in the 5K Day Bonus Blitz. Another chance for winning $1,000. How much better would your Memorial Day weekend be if you got $1,000 in extra cash? 5K Day bonus blitz continues at 10:18. I will give you the keyword. Another chance for you to win $1,000 right here just listening for WSB. Travel expert, speaking of Memorial Day, travel expert Peter Greenberg's going to join us live at 10:35. Pick his brain. A lot of big travel news and stories we have to discuss with him. And at 10:52, Deborah, I don't know how you swing these guests, but Kelsey Grammer is going to join us. Obviously, Cheers and Frasier, and just after the passing of George Wendt. So thank you, Deborah. I don't know how. Did you pull some strings? Did you give away?
We were talking about Cheers a lot. It seemed right.
Yeah. Did you offer Kelsey Metallica tickets? Is that how you swung them in?
Yes. He's a big Metallica fan.
We'll be giving away more Metallica. Deborah gives it away. She's the keeper of the goods. She'll be giving away those tickets at 10:37. Another pair of tickets to see Metallica June 3rd at Mercedes-Benz Stadium. All right, that's the fun stuff. Let's get to the horrific stuff now. Awful slaying of 2 Israeli embassy staffers overnight in D.C. Joining us from the scene of the crime, from WTOP Radio in Washington, D.C., it's Kyle Cooper. Kyle, you're there. What information do you have this morning?
Yeah, Mark, let me give you some perspective of where this is happening. This is at 3rd and E Streets in Northwest D.C., and that may not mean a lot to your listeners, but here's the situation. Just up the street, 1 block away, D.C. Police Headquarters, and just a couple of blocks down the street is the FBI Headquarters. This morning, D.C. Police are saying that a man named Elias Rodriguez, he's 31 years old and from Chicago, is the suspect in this shooting. What we're told is last night here near the Capitol Jewish Museum, there was a reception going on, and people were coming out. And allegedly, Rodriguez was waiting outside, sort of pacing up and down. And when people started walking out, he started firing, killing these 2 young people.
What do we know about the 2 victims now? I heard reporting that they were about to be engaged in Israel.
Yeah, the Israeli X account, the State of Israel's X account, is identifying them this morning as Yaron Lachinsky and Sarah Milgram. And the ambassador told us that indeed Lachinsky had just bought a ring and was going to propose to Sarah next week in Jerusalem. And so that has been an added thing to this. It's just made this whole thing really heart-wrenching and just a horrible scene here in D.C.
I guess what's most quizzical to me, Kyle, was how the suspect was apprehended. He did not put up a battle. He walked up to authorities allegedly and said, "Hey, I did this crime."
Yeah, as a matter of fact, after the shooting, what police told us was that he actually walked into the museum and indicated to security and other staff in here that he had done this. He told them where he put the gun outside, and then maybe one of the most shocking things, began to chant the words "Free, Free Palestine." And if you've been paying attention to all the protests that have been happening around the country on college campuses, especially here in D.C., that is one of the chants that is frequently used by the groups that are opposed to the war in Gaza. And we're told that he just walked right in and started chanting that, gave himself up to the security members that were inside that. A lot of D.C. police, FBI, everybody swarmed the scene.
Kyle Cooper, WTOP in D.C., joining us here on the Mark Arum Show. Obviously still a lot to unpack, but do we know anything about the suspect that's now in custody?
We really know very, very little other than his name and that he was from Chicago. They're investigating him. D.C. police did tell us last night that they had no warning or no intelligence or no information that there was going to be any potential act of violence here. So he was not on their radar in any way, but so far we don't know a lot about him personally.
Outside of the D.C. police, have we heard from the Trump administration or the FBI on what this investigation might look like?
Yeah, one of the field agents was here last night talking about this and expressing condolences, obviously, to the Israeli community and to those personally affected by this. Attorney General Pam Bondi was present last night when they had the big news conference about all this, saying that she'd been in touch with the president, who was offering his condolences as well. And, of course, all of these agencies, they really do work together well in D.C. D.C. Police, FBI, the Attorney General's office, they're all pledging to work together to get to the bottom of this. prosecute this man if he's indeed completely charged in this case, and try to figure out how to stop these kinds of things in the future.
Kyle Cooper, WTOP in D.C., thanks for jumping on with the breaking news.
You bet, Mark. Take care.
I heard from some witnesses. We've heard from President Trump and the Attorney General. I will continue to cover and monitor this breaking news as new information develops here on WSB Radio. But I'm so happy that we're joined by our next guest. Rich McHugh from News Nation joins us live, discussing what we've been covering here in depth on the Mark Arum Show and on WSB Radio, the horrific chemical fire in Rockdale County. Rich, I am so happy that this is now garnering national attention. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for your time.
You got it. Thanks for having me.
I mean,
Happy to be here.
it's just a horrific story, and we've been covering it for so long, and the poor folks in Rockdale County. New information from you and News Nation on what is going on in relation to that biolab fire and chemical spill. What can you share with us?
Sure thing. So, well, first of all, last night they had a town hall with concerned residents, and at the town hall, a bunch of people, independent testing expert Scott Smith presented some of his evidence of the testing that he's done in and around Conyers, Georgia, that shows, elevated levels of a bunch of chemicals, but basically all carcinogens, dioxins, which are really, really toxic to the human body. Number one, the EPA initially had said that they had detected, chemicals, these harmful chemicals, but at low levels or levels below concern. But this new information kind of seems to blow that out of the water. And I also spoke with the former EPA administrator, Daniel Blackman, who presided over the region, before this disaster, just before it. And he says, in light of all this, the EPA he's critical. He says they ultimately dropped the ball here. They didn't take the lead. They didn't test the soot and the debris that had fallen from the rain down for days on Conyers, and they should have continuously been testing, and they did not. So his coming out and saying that's a big deal. I've covered East Palestine for a long time. East Palestine after the train derailment and the toxic burn there, and a former EPA administrator came out and said, in that case, that the EPA was not doing their job and trying to get attention. And, when someone like that speaks up, it shines a light. And in this case, that's the hope here, is that his speaking out, will say, okay, EPA wasn't really doing their job here. In defense of the EPA, they sent me a statement. They didn't answer my questions, but they sent me a statement saying ultimately they deferred to Rockdale County Fire Department, who was unified command of the disaster. And I guess the question it begs is, why was the EPA not taking the lead there? Why were they deferring? A lot of these major decisions, warning residents. Residents complain.
Rich, you're preaching to the choir, man. I mean, we were on every day as that plume, and it not just was flowing over Conyers and Rockdale County, but it had a big impact in the entire metro area. What are, for the listeners that were impacted by that horrible plume? What are the long-term implications health-wise? What should we be worried about?
I mean, truthfully, I don't know the answer to that. But if it's anything, and I know that they're finding similar chemical compounds that they found in East Palestine, and these things take years to kind of reveal themselves in cancer clusters and whatnot. But they are carcinogens. The question is, how far did they spread? I know Scott Smith said he found some samples traveled something like 30 miles, which was quite shocking to me. But that plume was massive, and it was, up in the sky, in the haze at least, for days and days. And so, there are resources though, and this group, there's a group, I don't remember exactly the name, but it's chemically affected communities. There was residents from East Palestine who came to this town hall last night, and so if concerned residents can find this group, I think they'd be in the right hands. Let's put it that way.
Rich McHugh from News Nation joining us live on the Mark Arum Show. What's the liability of Biolab and its parent company when all is said and done?
Well, I think I know that they're brewing litigation. I'll put it that way, and a lot of people are going to be held accountable, including BioLab, likely the EPA, a lot of different parties in this whole thing. But it hasn't come to fruition yet. But I think it will. And like we've seen in East Palestine, it's there's misstep after misstep. And so what I've heard about BioLab is like, look, they've been having fires there for years, and have been kind of left unchecked. Question is why.
Yeah.
I know that they're a big supplier, a big revenue source for the county, but at some point when disasters like this happen, they need to be held accountable.
Again, I'm over the moon that this is getting national attention. One, I know you're going to continue to cover the story for News Nation, Rich, but if you can find out what the county, the city plans to do with that now spoiled piece of property, because I can't envision that BioLab is going to set up shop there again. And if there are any future plans to redevelop or turn it into a green space or do something, I'd love to see if you can find out more information on that.
I don't know if it's exactly the space that you're talking about, but I'm speaking to one person with knowledge of the scenario. Yesterday, they told me that they poured concrete over it, and there is little information about what what they did to remedy underneath that concrete, like what still exists under there.
Unbelievable.
So that's infuriating.
Rich, are you going to stay in the area and stay on top of the story?
Well, I'm a national reporter, so I'm not going to stay in the area, but I will definitely stay on this story for sure.
I have a spare bedroom. You can crash. I got, my wife is an amazing cook. I've got 2 great dogs. We'd love to have you.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that very much. I may take you up on it.
There you go. Rich McHugh, News Nation. Rich, thanks so much for your time, buddy.
Thank
there you go. All right. Deborah, finally.
Finally.
Right. East Palestine, that was a huge national story. Why wasn't this BioLab story a national story? Now it's garnering the attention. Let's get some more answers. Let's find out who's going to be held responsible. Culpability. We need to find out. All right, quick break. When we come back, the Tush Push, the future of the Tush Push, it's not anything nefarious. It's a football term. The future of the Tush Push and what the vice president has to say about dating apps. We'll let you know what J.D. Vance thinks about them dating apps that Vinny's on. But first, let's check the ride around town. Live with the latest, here's Mike Shields.
And Mark, a little better news on the southeast leg of the perimeter. We had an overturned vehicle crash, moved to the right shoulder. All lanes back open, 285 northbound. The outer loop right at I-20 exit 46. Crash in the backup, just moved to the right shoulder as well, past Boulder Crest Road. And very slow now into Fairburn Road. Work set up in the left lane, 85 southbound at Sonoya Road, exit 61. Bumper to bumper, leaving Highway 138. You can use Highway 29 as an alternate. This support is brought to you by Georgia United Credit Union. Ready for a financial partner that puts you first? Discover the difference at Georgia United Credit Union. Visit gucu.org/join, insured by NCUA. I'm Mike Shields, 95.5 WSB.
When traffic
no
hits,
traffic getting through in either direction.
the Triple Team Traffic Center has you covered.
Even the bridge over 75 is being held.
Your source for Atlanta's traffic.
Traffic out of Spaghetti Junction along 285 westbound and a crash on Peachtree Boulevard, 141 southbound before 285.
Brought to you by the Cool Ray Lifetime Parts and Labor Warranty.
95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
A company that you trust. Who comes to mind? Ragsdale has been a part of our home for years. They've been my go-to for a new HVAC system, blown-in insulation, and electrical work that makes life more simple. They're on time and work with my busy schedule. Right now, get up to $1,700 off a brand new Carrier home comfort system and enjoy Ragsdale's own trusted 15-year parts and labor warranty. Learn why they have a 4.9 Google rating. Start at ragsdaleair.com. Ragsdale, the name I know you can trust.
Attention men, are you suffering from ED or PE? Here's an important message from Choice Men's Health.
I'm Dr. Katz, and I'm the Chief Medical Director at Choice Men's Health. Are you performing the way you want to in the bedroom? If the answer is no, and you've tried Viagra, Cialis, and Levitra and were disappointed, then you need to come see us immediately. If you don't see results on the first visit, then there's no charge. Many of our patients have medical conditions such as diabetes, hypertension, obesity, and prostate problems. I'm happy to say that we have 98% success rate with all our patients. Our customized solutions will allow you to perform within 10 minutes and last an hour and even longer. You can regain your love life and tackle your ED and PE problems. Guys, your partner will never complain again. Our clinic has the most affordable prices, so if you visit other clinics and you're not completely satisfied, then you need to call Choice Men's Health.
Regain your love life regardless of your age or medical history. Choice Men's Health guarantees results on your first visit or you pay nothing. Call now. 404-400-1170. That's 404-400-1170.
Storm season officially here, friends, and it wreaks havoc on your house and your roof. It's Mark Aram here. If you truly want peace of mind about your roof, and for many years to come, ask Dr. Roof about their lifetime warranty. Dr. Roof's warranty means they have your roof covered for the lifetime of your roof, and if anything comes up, Dr. Roof will take care of it. You never have to worry about a thing. They stand behind it since they've been in business for over 35 years. Now that is peace of mind. All the info online at drroof.com.
I didn't ask to be thrown in the streets with nowhere to go. I didn't think I'd survive. But I did ask for help, and Covenant House was there for me.
1 in 10 young adults will experience a form of homelessness this year. For these kids who didn't ask to be put in this unthinkable situation, Covenant House is there.
Covenant House helped me break the cycle of homelessness in my family. They gave me the love that I needed.
Over 2,000 young people will sleep safely in a Covenant House bed tonight. When youth who are experiencing homelessness have a hot meal, a safe place to sleep, medical care, and love, they can overcome heartbreaking challenges and have a brighter future.
They just really genuinely just wanted to help me succeed, and I'm succeeding. I'm a speaker, I'm an author. Covenant House really helped me and really helped mold me into the woman I am today.
If you or someone you love is asking for help, go to safeplacetosleep.org today.
A lifetime warranty says a lot about a company. Lifetime is a long time. Home Fix It Show host Dave Baker here. I can't think of a better place to have a lifetime warranty than on the roof of your home. It covers everything you own and love. That's why I love Finley Roofing. Only Finley Roofing, the roof guys, provide a lifetime leak-free warranty on labor and materials at no additional cost. Nobody else does that. Other roofers charge you more for a lesser warranty. Finley replaced the roof on my home and over 65,000 other homes locally. They've mastered the roof replacement process with impeccable, high-quality work. They've seen it all, they've replaced it all, and they've warrantied it all. With the Finley Roofing Lifetime Warranty, you'll never have to worry about your roof ever again. Time to replace your roof? Think of Finley first. Schedule your free roof analysis. No obligation, no charge at finleyroofing.com. Roof.
9:54 on the Mark Aram Show. Reminder, 10:18 a.m. That is, through the math, 4 plus 8, 22 minutes from now. I'm going to give you, no, I messed up that math. 18 plus 6, 24 minutes from now. I'm going to give you another keyword in the 5K Day Bonus Blitz. Math is hard for me, but I can tell you $1,000. That is 1 followed by 3 zeros. Will be in your bank account if you win the 5K Day Bonus Blitz. Again, the keyword coming up at 10:18 a.m. Next half hour, we're going to continue our coverage of the slaying of the 2 Israeli embassy staffers yesterday, but I do want to update the sports story. We're not talking about the Knicks game last night, Deborah. Talking about the tush push, the infamous Jalen Hurts tush push. The NFL finally had a vote whether to outlaw it or not. What was the final vote tally?
Yeah, it looks like the NFL is going to keep the tush push, which is pushing a player basically on top over the goal line to get those points. Some people were trying to get rid of it. A bunch of teams lobbied to keep it. It will be here at least for another season.
So they voted, 22 owners voted to get rid of it, but they needed 24 owners. That's a tougher bar to do than to impeach a president or to change the Constitution. So the tush push, are you a fan of the tush push, Longoria?
That's when you just get behind everybody and kind of push them over the line. I mean, it's part of the game. I don't have a problem with it. You know?
All right. I just, as a Giants fan, I hate it because the Eagles keep using it for success.
The Giants could use it too.
Yeah. No. We finally have a young, maybe decent quarterback, but I don't know if they're going to push his tush or not. We need audio of Austin Eller saying tush push, by the way. See if he does that story.
Oh, gosh.
Quickly, this is just for Vin, the only member of the Mark Aram Show on those dating apps. Vice President J.D. Vance, a fan of dating apps or no, Deborah?
No, it looks like Vice President Vance does not want Americans using those apps like Tinder, Hinge, or Bumble, and he's so against it. He even brought it up when he got to speak to Pope Leo XIV when he was in Rome. He says dating apps are destructive. It makes it harder for people to connect in real life. It isolates them from society. And then AI enters the picture, and it could lead to extreme loneliness with Americans.
Vinny, are you seeing AI profiles on dating apps or anything like that?
AI? I see catfish.
Vinny's been catfished a number of times, but I'm not opposed to. I mean, it's tough to meet people, right? Go out there. Who do I know 3 couples that met and are happily married off of dating apps. So I will agree to disagree with Vice President Vance. I already gave him a promotion. Vice President Vance. You know what? If you're not into the bar scene, go ahead and do it. Go ahead. Vinny, I'm not judging you. You do what you got to do. All right, when we come back, more on the slaying of the 2 Israeli staffers in D.C., reaction to the budget passage in Congress, and we finally have a resolution on that gifted plane from Qatar. We'll get the latest from Louis Martinez from ABC. That's next on The Mark Arum Show.
WSB Atlanta, WSBB FM, and HD1 Doraville. 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's news and talk.
Window Nation customers have been singing our praises for years. With fast local service and an industry-leading 96% customer satisfaction rating, it's no wonder.
I researched window companies for the last year to see what the average prices were and the quality of work. Window Nation nailed both.
Right now, get 4 windows free with every 4 you buy, plus no interest for 2 years. Hurry, this offer ends soon. Schedule a free estimate now. Call 866-90-NATION or visit windownation.com. That's 866-90-NATION.
Now's the perfect time to cash in on your unwanted gold and silver jewelry or luxury watches. At A1 Gold Buyers, you'll get top dollar, immediate payment, and free no-pressure evaluations. With years of trusted experience, they make the process quick, fair, and hassle-free. No appointment needed. Come see us at 5779 State Bridge Road in Johns Creek, next to Pike Nursery. A1GoldBuyers.com, where you get great service and great prices.
For over 8 years now, QC Kinetics has been the nation's leader in non-surgical relief for joint pain with over 50,000 satisfied patients. People with knee and back pain now living pain-free, shoulder and hip pain gone. Hey, it's Mark Arum. What they're doing is nothing short of remarkable. They're using regenerative cell therapy to restore the tissues in your achy joints. They're using biologic growth factors with robust healing properties carefully and strategically placed in your joint. It's a powerful and potent way to give your joints new life, repairing that old tissue. Best part, with QC Kinetics, no drugs, no surgery, and there's no downtime. This is an all-natural, cellular level option with lasting relief. The patient satisfaction reports are astonishing. Call QC Kinetics now and learn about these cutting-edge treatments that can help you live your best life, truly your best pain-free life. Call 770-285-8026, 770-285-8026. That's 770-285-8026.
News, weather,
traffic. 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's news and talk.
Hi there, good morning. It is 10 o'clock. I'm Sabrina Cupid. This news is sponsored by TE Certified Electrical Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. Happening right now, Atlanta police are searching this morning for the parents or guardians of a 3-year-old found alone in southeast Atlanta.
The child's being treated at Hughes Spalding Hospital after turning up on someone's doorstep on Belfort Road overnight. The homeowner called police. Officers say the 3-year-old appears to be suffering from malnutrition and some cuts and scratches. Atlanta police say they've notified the Division of Family and Children's Services about the child's location and condition. A door-to-door search for the parents is unsuccessful, so the investigation continues. Jennifer Perry, 95.5 WSB.
Thank you, Jennifer. Your weather for today, mostly sunny, breezy, afternoon highs around 81, says WSB meteorologist Christina Edwards. A driver charged with killing an 8-year-old Henry County girl as she was getting on a school bus in 2024 is back in court for a plea hearing right now.
And how do you wish to plead to these charges, guilty or not guilty?
Kaylee Andre pleading guilty. She is charged with first-degree vehicular homicide, failure to stop for a school bus, loading and unloading, and failure to exercise due care. The deadly accident sparked the creation of House Bill 409, also known as Addie's Law. We'll continue to follow this and bring you any updates. Mercedes-Benz bringing hundreds of new jobs to Metro Atlanta.
The automaker currently employs 800 people at its U.S. headquarters in Sandy Springs, but that will soon jump by another 500 positions. They're closing some other North American offices and centralizing operations to Georgia, which the company says will ensure the best customer experience. Also in the works, a new multi-million-dollar research and development facility that will be built nearby. Governor Kemp says Georgia is leading the way in the future of mobility and technical innovation. Austin Eller, 95.5 WSB.
Right now, a horrific scene in San Diego after a plane crashes into a residential neighborhood before sunrise. Reporter Chris Gross is there.
This plane was coming in low. Many of these neighbors heard it. They heard that crash.
No word on if there are any deaths or injuries in this incident. 2 staffers from the Israeli embassy fatally shot after they left an event at the Capital Jewish Museum. A suspect's in custody. Matt Piper has more on the shooting.
The suspect is a 30-year-old man from Chicago who police say entered the museum immediately following the shooting and was arrested by museum security. What police are not yet sure of yet is if he went into the museum with the intent to shoot more people besides the 2 that he shot outside the museum.
And police said that when the 30-year-old suspect was taken into custody, he chanted, quote, "Free Palestine." 2 Fulton County elementary schools are welcoming students for the final time today.
Families have had several months to prepare for the reality that this is the end for Park Lane Elementary and Spalding Drive Elementary. But Spalding Drive parent Stephen Bell says it is still tough. His kids have developed bonds that will be lost because friends will be split up when they attend separate schools in the fall.
Our oldest has been particularly sad. She's cried a few times over it because she truly understands how much she has enjoyed the school and what it's done for her.
The board cited declining enrollment and the cost of maintaining these older facilities as reasons for the closures. Graham Carroll, 95.5 WSB.
The high price of groceries putting a strain on Georgians and people all across the nation. According to a new Lending Tree survey, 1 in 4 Americans say that they've used buy now, pay later options to purchase groceries. That's nearly double the number from last year. The survey also finds more than 40% say they've missed a payment in the past year. That's up 34% from the year before. As we take a look at the markets, we're in the green this morning. The Dow's up 31 at 41,892. NASDAQ also in positive territory, and so is the S&P. Time now for live team coverage of traffic and weather. We say good morning to Ashley Frasca.
Hey there, Sabrina. Got another slow down on the south side today because of the construction that's in the left lane as you roll through Fairburn 85 South. You'll find the barrels out in that left lane approaching Sonoy Road, Highway 74. Slow zone taking you back to Jonesboro Road, Highway 138. And still the flashing lights from that earlier rollover crash, but all lanes are open on the southeast perimeter. You'll find that right on 285 northbound at the ramps to I-20. I'm Ashley Frasca, 95.5 WSB.
I'm WSB meteorologist Christina Edwards. Mostly sunny today, breezy at times, high 81, lows tonight in the mid-50s. Tomorrow, sunny skies, high 79. Saturday, partly to mostly cloudy with an isolated rain shower possible, high near 80.
72 degrees in Douglasville and Tucker. Johns Creek has 71 degrees. We'll have more news at 10:30. Breaking news when it happens. I'm Sabrina Cupid, 95.5 WSB.
Welcome back to the show and a good Thursday morning to you. Mark Arum here. You there? It's 10:05, 5 minutes after 10 o'clock. This is the Mark Arum Show live Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to noon on 95.5 WSB. Whole family with us today. The only cast member that speaks fluent Spanish and is the executive producer, Deborah Longoria, on the other side of the takeout window. Vinny Drip screens your calls. Coming up in 13 minutes. That's it. 13 minutes away. I'm going to give you another keyword in the 5K a day bonus blitz. Going to change your life. Chance to win $1,000 right here on WSB. Don't go anywhere. 1018 keyword in the 5K a day bonus blitz. Coming up after the news at 10:35, travel expert Peter Greenberg joins us live. And this is worthy of the breaking news sounder, I think, Longoria. At 10:52 a.m., star of Cheers, Frasier, good friends of belated Norm, George Wendt, Kelsey Grammer is going to join us live on the Mark Arum Show. Very excited about that. We're obviously following reaction to the budget passage yesterday. 1 vote. That's it. That's it. But Speaker Johnson, Magic Johnson, if you will, got it passed. Now it heads to the Senate. We'll see what happens there. But we're going to continue to get reaction to that. I do want to update the story we told you about last half hour. We talked to Kyle Cooper on the scene of the double murder in D.C. of the two Israeli staffers at a Jewish museum yesterday. Really horrific stuff. We are hearing now reaction from President Trump. This is Karen Travers from ABC.
President Trump overnight reacting on social media to the deadly shooting in Washington, D.C., writing on Truth Social, quote, "These horrible D.C. killings, based obviously on anti-Semitism, must end now. Hatred and radicalism have no place in the USA." The president added that he extends his condolences to the families of the victims. The Israeli ambassador to the U.S. said at a press conference he had received a call from the president last night, pledging the support of the U.S. in combating anti-Semitism. Karen Travers, ABC News, Washington.
Yeah, in case you missed the story, this murderer, terrorist, I don't know what we're going to call this person yet, went to this, gunned down the two Israeli staffers of the Israeli embassy, then turned himself into authorities. That's the murder suspect right now, screaming, "Free, free Palestine." Attorney General Pam Bondi wasted no time saying that this is going to be a priority investigation.
We will follow the facts. We will follow the law. And this defendant, if charged, will be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law.
All right, so we've heard from President Trump on Truth Social. We heard from the Attorney General there. What's the reaction in Israel after two staffers were killed in D.C.? Israeli Prime Minister said security is going to be stepped up now at Israeli embassies around the world. Our friend Linda Gradstein from CBS has more from Jerusalem.
In a statement, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said he had ordered security arrangements to be boosted in Israeli diplomatic missions around the world. Israel's Foreign Minister Gideon Sa'ar called it a direct result of toxic anti-Semitism against Israel and Jews around the world. He said there is a direct line between anti-Semitic and anti-Israel incitement. Linda Gradstein for CBS News, Jerusalem.
Now, the question is, was this a lone wolf attack? Was this part of a coordinated thing? I suspect, obviously, as the Prime Minister said, that there will be increased security at embassies around the world. I think locally you'll see increased security at synagogues here in Metro Atlanta. They already have security. I don't know if you ever been to a synagogue, Longoria, or driven by one, but on Saturdays for the service, I mean, there's police cars out front, which is shocking that we have to do that in 2025. But I would imagine we're going to see updated security, just not here in the metro area, but maybe globally when it comes to houses of worship. Jonathan Epstein, is that his name, Vinny? Jonathan Epstein? You can talk on the air, buddy.
My bad.
Yeah.
Yes.
Jonathan Epstein. So he was a witness to the slaying of the two Israeli staffers. He was on CNN this morning explaining what he saw last night in D.C.
So the event had just wrapped up. A couple of us were touring the galleries upstairs, and all out of nowhere we hear a series of loud bangs, just boom, 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 one after the other. And my friend was like, "Were those gunshots?" I was like, no, that was just construction. We're fine. Then we went downstairs to the main lobby where the event was held. A man rushed in, said he had dislocated his shoulder, said there were indeed gunshots. Security at the event ushered us quickly back into a safe location behind the main room. And we were there for a few minutes, and we were like, okay, what is this shooting about? And we just thought it was a random shooting. We're in a rough area of D.C., lots of gang violence. I thought it had nothing to do with the event at first. And a couple minutes pass, and I hear a man yell, "Free Palestine." And I thought he was just a random protesters protesting an event for the sake of it. I had no idea he was the shooter. I walk out, I see him yelling again. I see security who are now there run, grab him, take him outside, and he's still yelling. Had no idea he was a shooter. We got pretty close. I was 10 feet away from him. I looked him in the eyes, and then I stepped back, and I spoke to a woman who said that, yeah, he had entered 5 minutes prior. He looked pretty shaken, like he was visibly shaking, and she approached him and said, "Are you okay? Like, what happened? Do you need water?" And he said nothing. And then police came a few minutes later, and he began shouting. He whipped out a keffiyeh, actually a Jordanian keffiyeh, ironically, and then was cuffed.
Just unbelievable. So he is now in custody. Obviously, as we heard from Pam Bondi there, it's going to be a quick investigation. The question I have is, again, is this a one-off, or is this something that we need to be worried about moving forward? Any new updates on that investigation and the slaying of those 2 Israeli staffers, we will share it with you here on WSB Radio. All right, joining us now from ABC News, it's Louis Martinez. Louis, we've been following the story about the possible gifting of a Qatari airliner to the United States. Do we have confirmation this morning that that gift has been received?
Mark, what we learned yesterday from the Pentagon is that they confirmed that, yes, Qatar is going to give a 747 that previously used to belong to the royal family and to the Pentagon. And the Pentagon is going to retrofit it, but essentially they can turn it into a new Air Force One as a bridge Air Force One until the Boeing completes the construction of the 2 new brand new ones that were going to replace the 35-year-old existing Air Force Ones. And the irony here is that it was the contract for those new aircraft essentially happened during the Trump administration. It's just taken a long time to get to the point because of lots of delays. And what used to be a $4 billion contract is potentially now, because of those delays, worth to maybe $5 or $6 billion.
Yeah, that 747-8 is a very impressive plane, but it is not Air Force One, right? There's got to be a lot added to it, as you mentioned, retrofitted. What's the timeline? How long is it going to take that to get it up to snuff to be an Air Force One level aircraft?
That's the big question mark, because President Trump wants to have this aircraft available to him by the end of the year. But when you talk to aviation analysts, when you talk to security analysts, they tell you that that's not real. Because what needs to happen, they say, is that to make sure that there are no listening devices or any bugs on that aircraft, or that it meets all the security specifications, they're going to have to gut it down to its frame. So right now, even though we're talking about this as a luxury aircraft, all of that's going to have to come out if you want to get to that security requirement. And how long that takes, that's really the big question. Those aviation analysts think it could take years, and then that really gets into the whole point of this, because the reason why President Trump wanted this was because he wanted a brand new aircraft to replace those 35-year-old ones until the new ones came aboard. But if the delays in making it up to snuff as the new Air Force One come into play, then you're really erasing that whole timeline.
Louis Martinez from ABC joining us here on the Mark Arum Show. So if I'm reading the story correctly, this was gifted to the Department of Defense. Earlier reporting said that once it was retired, or once the new Boeing Air Force Ones were put into service, that this jet would then transfer ownership to the Trump Presidential Library. Is that still the plan?
Yeah, we understand that is still the plan. ABC News has been reporting that this was going to happen, that it was going to be given to the Trump administration, essentially to the Department of Defense. And then after, or just near the end of the Trump administration, it was going to be transitioned over to the Presidential Library. We've heard from, a lot of criticism about whether that is ethically propriety of the ethics of something like that being done. But we understand that Attorney General Pam Bondi, she issued the declaration a while ago saying that it was okay for the United States to accept this gift of the aircraft. And I think that certain questions have been raised about the propriety of sending it over to the library after its use, or after the president's second term is up. But again, more questions are being raised about that possibility.
Final question for you, Louis. It was believed that from President Trump himself that Qatar offered him this jet as a gift, but we're also seeing reporting that it was actually the president that asked the nation to gift him the jet. Have we gotten confirmation on that?
We still don't have confirmation of that, Mark. There has been some reporting that that the transfer of this 747 Qatar was initiated by the Trump administration. As you said, he has been saying, and the administration has been saying, that this was initiated by the government of Qatar, and that kind of has been the narrative all along here. But yes, there are some other stories that ABC News has not yet confirmed that would indicate that possibly this was initiated by the White House early on in the administration.
Interesting. Louis Martinez, ABC. Louis, thanks so much for your time.
Thanks, Mark.
I don't care if President Trump asked for it or if Qatar offered it. To me, that's not an issue. I don't have an issue with Qatar giving the Pentagon a 747, a pimped out 747-8. Like, okay. The only issue I have with the story is what happens when it's retired, if it ever gets used as Air Force One. Again, so much stuff has to be included and added to it now to make it sufficient to be an official Air Force One. I don't think they can get it done anytime soon. I don't know what happens first. The Qatari plane gets usable as Air Force One, or the Boeing Air Force Ones hit the tarmac, the new ones. I'm dubious that it's going to happen. The only problem with this story I have is what happens after it's allegedly going to be used as Air Force One. Gifting it to the Trump Presidential Library. That's a bad look, man. That's like basically giving it to the Trump family. They have a plane. There's better uses for that. I'm sure the Pentagon can find more efficient uses for a pimped out former Air Force One 747 than gifting it to the Presidential Library. What's the library going to do with it? You can be flying books back and forth. It basically is a gift to the Trump family. That's the only problem I have with it. They should find a different final destination for that Qatari plane instead of giving it to the Trump's Presidential Library. And I'd be saying the same thing if this was the Biden administration or the Obama administration. Let's just insert the Biden family. All right, Qatar gifts the Pentagon this 747-8, and Joe Biden uses it as Air Force One. And then when his term is over or the Boeing Air Force Ones are ready, they gift it to the Biden Presidential Library. You want Hunter Biden to have access to this pimped out 747-8? It doesn't smell right. Doesn't look right. Doesn't feel right. That's the issue I have with the story. They want to give us a plane. Sure. We'll take it. Why the heck not? I just don't think it should wind up in the president's library. And it doesn't matter if it's Trump or any president. That doesn't pass the smell test. This does, though, giving you $1,000. Your chance to win $1,000 happens right now. Yes, it's the 5K a day bonus blitz. Your 10 a.m. keyword is BAG. B-A-G, BAG. Enter the keyword BAG into the WSB Radio app or at WSBradio.com/cash. You have until 10:30 a.m. to enter the keyword, win $1,000. The keyword is BAG, B-A-G. And don't forget, if you get a phone call after 10:30 from a number you don't recognize, pick it up, pick it up, pick it up. Could be us telling you you won $1,000. Again, your 10 a.m. keyword in the 5K a day bonus blitz is BAG, B-A-G. Good luck, friends. All right, let's check the roads around town. Live with the latest, here's Ashley Frasca.
Hey there, still watching that slow construction zone into Fairburn on 85 South. Cruiser in the left lane approaching Sonoy Road, Highway 74, so expect certainly a tap of the brakes there. And getting a little crowded at the merge off of 675 South onto 75 South down to Hudson Bridge, and still stop and go traffic downtown on the connector north trying to get up to I-20. Traffic brought to you by WhatsApp. On WhatsApp, your personal messages stay private because your personal messages are yours. No one else can see or hear them, not even WhatsApp. WhatsApp, message privately with everyone. I'm Ashley Frasca, 95.5 WSB.
Coming up on the Friday edition of Atlanta's Morning News from 5 to 9, we'll get you ready for Memorial Day weekend with live team coverage of traffic and weather. There'll be a different traffic pattern with many of us trying to get out of town for the holiday. Christina Edwards lets you know how much rain we can expect as we make our weekend plans, and how Clark Howard says you can check to see if you're on track for retirement. When you wake up tomorrow, tell your smart speaker to play 95.5 WSB for Atlanta's Morning News.
Some things really love the rain, like flowers, your lawn, frogs. Other things like your roof, not so much. And if your roof is old, it's taken a lot of abuse from the elements over the years. Home Fix It Show host Dave Baker here from my roofing experts at Findlay Roofing, the roof guys. Water is your home's #1 enemy, and your roof is your front line of defense to stop it from getting inside. Heavy rain and severe storms like we've had recently can expose roof leaks and lead to water damage. So, how's your roof holding up? If you're not sure, I recommend you schedule a Findlay Roofing free roof analysis. It's easy. Go to roofroof.com, set up your appointment, and a highly trained professional will thoroughly examine your roof. No obligation, no charge. And if you need a new roof, remember Findlay has seen it all and replaced it all. They have replaced over 65,000 roofs in the metro area. That's why when it comes to your roof, you need to think of Findlay first. Schedule your free roof analysis at FindlayRoofing.com.
Roof. Metallica in the round. The M72 World Tour continues. Live from the 50-yard line of Mercedes-Benz Stadium. One night only. June 3rd. Metallica. Special guests, those Cowboys from Hell, Pantera. Are you talking to me? Are you talking to me? And Suicidal Tendencies. Tickets on sale now. Available at Ticketmaster.com. Metallica in the rounds. The M72 World Tour continues. Presented by In Kind.
Hey, it's Belinda for the board-certified plastic surgeons at Marietta Plastic Surgery. I've trusted their team for years. Doctors West, McNeil, Hanna, and Biswas have been serving the Atlanta area for over 25 years with expert surgical and non-surgical care. With warmer weather on the way, are you summer ready? Marietta Plastic Surgery is here to help you look and feel your best. They now offer Awake Liposuction, a less invasive way to sculpt your body with less downtime. And their med spa still has all your go-to treatments like Botox and fillers, microneedling, Diamond Glow, hydrofacials, and Morpheus 8 for radiant, glowing skin. Looking to restore thinning hair or reshape your hairline? Marietta Plastic Surgery is the only practice in the region that offers the gold standard in hair restoration, the Foundation Aesthetic Hair Restoration Method. Visit MariettaPlasticSurgery.com to schedule your consultation today.
Income for a lifetime after you've left the workforce. Many happy retirees harness the power of income investing to give themselves peace of mind and create a consistent income stream from their retirement savings. For income investing, they use many different forms of cash flow, including rent, royalties, dividends, distributions, and interest. At Capital Investment Advisors, we love working with happy retirees on income investing. You can find us at yourwealth.com. That's YOUR wealth.com.
Can you remember the last time you turned on the shower and all you got was cold water? Hopefully you don't have a fresh memory of that. Hey, it's Mark Arum. I want you to check out my friends at Reliable Heating and Air. Great new deal on a new water heater. Check it out, guys. Only $29.99 a month and no payments for 3 whole months. No credit check and an unbeatable lifetime warranty. Or you want to go tankless? It's only $59.99 a month and you can enjoy endless hot water. Think about those long, hot showers in the cold, cold winter. Their new water heater installations come with their 100% satisfaction guarantee, same-day water heater installation guaranteed, or they pay you $300. And with their comfort as a service program, you get lifetime repair and maintenance, no additional charges ever, no money down, and just easy monthly payments. So new water heater, $29.99 a month, or tankless, $59.99 a month. Amazing deal. Amazing hot water, amazing service. Go online to reliableair.com.
When everyone in the family wants something different from this year's vacation, there's only one thing to do. Plan for Pigeon Forge. From gorgeous mountain views, shows, and shopping for leisure lovers to coasters, a 200-foot swing, and hundreds more rides for adventure seekers. Plus Dollywood's epic array of fun. There's plenty of variety for the whole family, all in one place. Unique experiences, quality time, and memories for years to come. Find your personal favorites. Plan your getaway at mypigeonforge.com.
10:24 on the Mark Arum Show. Don't forget at 10:52, I'm not doing that math, Kelsey Grammer is going to join us live from Cheers and Frasier. So many good stuff. And as amazing as that guest is, tomorrow's guest is even better. Comedian Hannibal Buress and documentarian Ken Burns. Deborah, outdoing yourself. Can I have a request, Deborah?
Oh, what do you got?
For future shows, can you book Salt or Peppa?
Oh, there's a new, what are they have a new documentary out or something?
Yeah, well, they're in the news this morning. You ready for this?
Yeah.
The lawsuit alleges that Universal Music Group is violating copyright law by refusing to turn over the rights to their master recordings and even pulled their music from streaming services. Cheryl Salt James and Sandra Peppa Denton filed the suit in federal court in New York, asserting an old copyright act that lets artists take back control of their music 35 years after signing away the rights. UMG maintains that the recordings were works made for hire, which would not allow for them to be reclaimed. Stacey Lynn, CBS CBS News.
Salt and pepper here. So they're suing to get their music rights back.
Mm-hmm.
I would imagine our friend and colleague Moni Love probably has some contact info for Salt and or Peppa.
Yeah, they're going to be inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, too.
Spinderella cut it up one time. All right, I'll stop. But anyway, yeah, I'm all for music rights. Any artist rights. That's my big, I mean, not to go on a tangent, but our trade war with China, anything that is created here in the United States is just hijacked by China. Whether it's movies or books or music, the actual artists that craft it get nothing from the Chinese sales. So, yeah, all right, rant over. All right, real quick, you got 3 minutes left. Bonus Blitz, 5K day bonus blitz, $1,000 up for grabs right now. Your 10 a.m. keyword is bag, B-A-G, bag. Enter that bag into the WSB Radio app or at WSBradio.com/cash. You have 3 minutes for a chance to win $1,000. Again, the 10 a.m. keyword is bag, B-A-G. Good luck, my friends. Sabrina's got your news, weather, and traffic. When we come back, travel expert Peter Greenberg joins us live ahead of this busy travel weekend. That's straight ahead next on the Mark Arum Show.
School is almost out now. You know what that means. Backyard barbecues, pool days, plenty of people seeing your home, too. So do what I did and get your place looking clean with Wise Guys Pro Wash. One call, quick quote. They handled everything. House, patio, the driveway too. Sparkling clean, and I didn't even need to be home. Mention me, Chris Chandler, and you'll get $70 off your next service. Book now at wiseguysprowash.com before spots fill up.
Cancer upends your life. We're doing all we can to change that. At Winship Cancer Institute of Emory University, we're reimagining the care experience to ease the burden of cancer. With experts in your cancer and the research, trials, and treatments you can only get here. All so you can focus on what matters most, the best chance of living a full life. Winship Cancer Institute of Emory University. Cancer care designed around you and your life. EmoryHealthcare.org/Winship.
Turn your backyard into your family's favorite hangout to have fun, entertain, and celebrate this summer in a Bullfrog hot tub from Brown's Pools and Spas. Only Bullfrog offers the Jetpack Therapy system, allowing you to customize each seat to fit everybody in your family. Right now, shop the Memorial Day hot tub sale. Instant rebates up to $2,500 or a free audio upgrade on select models. Hurry, offer ends May 27th. You'll be so glad you went to Brown's Pools and Spas. BrownsPools.com.
JIC, Flat Face Seal, BSP, and DIN. If you know what these are, then listen up.
I'm Victoria Holloway. We can replicate hose assembly on site with Mobile Hydraulics of Georgia.
Call 770-HYD-HOSE or try our website, HYDHOSE.com.
Why do I say Advanced Hair is absolutely the best in the biz? Well, I've been to the facilities. I've met the physicians. I've met the medical staff. I've seen the before and after pictures at advancedhair.com. Without a doubt, they are the best in the business. If you have a receding hairline, bald spots, just not happy with what's going on top of your head, check out Advanced Hair. Quick, simple, one-day treatment. Your real hair begins to regrow the very next day, and it's even guaranteed to grow for life. Best in the biz, friends. If you want to get your hair back, now's the time. Advanced Hair is the place. Takes just one visit, but first, you'll need a free consultation. So go ahead and schedule now. 470-660-HAIR, 470-660-HAIR, or advancedhair.com. And if you move forward, you get $250 off plus 250 free grafts. One-day treatment, life-changing results, the best in the business. Your own natural hair guaranteed to grow online at advancedhair.com.
Live from the Superior Plumbing Studios.
News,
weather,
traffic. 95.5 WSB.
Atlanta's News and Talk. It is 10:30. Good morning. I'm Sabrina Cupid. This news is sponsored by your Metro Atlanta AMCO dealers, a major automaker announcing plans to bring hundreds of new jobs to Metro Atlanta.
Mercedes-Benz says it will centralize its North American operations to its existing U.S. headquarters in Sandy Springs, bringing with it up to 500 new jobs. 800 people already work there. The move's expected to be complete by August 2026. The automaker also announcing plans to build a new multi-million-dollar research and development facility nearby. Governor Kemp says the state continues to attract world-class companies, saying Georgia is, quote, the best state for business and opportunity. Austin Eller, 95.5 WSB.
Mostly sunny and breezy today with an afternoon high of 81, says WSB meteorologist Christina Edwards. Happening right now, police are searching for the parents of a 3-year-old who was found abandoned on Belfort Road in southeast Atlanta. Police say the child had some minor scratches and lacerations and appeared to be suffering from malnutrition. When that child was found last night, just before 10:30, the child's at Children's Healthcare of Atlanta's Hughes Spalding Hospital right now for treatment. A small plane crashes into a military housing neighborhood in San Diego. San Diego Fire Rescue Division Chief Dan Eddy says the plane struck around 15 homes in the Murray Canyon neighborhood, causing multiple houses and vehicles to catch fire.
The entire block is hit down there right now. We do not have the amount of homes that are fully damaged. We are doing an assessment right now. I just walked it myself. And down the street itself, it looks like something from a movie, I'll be honest.
He says he doesn't know if there are any deaths or injuries at this point. The FAA says the Cessna private jet was headed to Montgomery Gibbs Executive Airport at the time of that crash. And he also added that there's hazmat on the scene because there is jet fuel all over the place. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu says security will be beefed up at Israel's diplomatic missions around the world after a gunman killed 2 embassy staffers outside the Capitol Jewish Museum in Washington, D.C. last night. Matt Bradley reporting from Tel Aviv that the people there are shocked but not surprised.
We heard from Gideon Sa'ar, he's the foreign minister, placing blame squarely on a lot of this anti-Israel opposition, and once again saying that this is not anti-Israel, this is not political, this is simply anti-Semitism.
And the suspected gunman was heard yelling "Free Palestine" as he was taken into custody. 2 women are arrested in Gwinnett County in a car theft ring. Police say that they were transporting stolen Honda CRVs from New York City to sell them through Facebook Marketplace right here in Georgia. Corporal Juan Marieto with Gwinnett Police telling Channel 2 Action News it was a routine service on one of those cars that uncovered the operation.
The technician happened to notice something was off with the VIN number of the vehicle.
And police set up an undercover purchase with the alleged seller, and that's when Marini Soprani was arrested and now facing 40 criminal charges. Also arrested was 30-year-old Karen Menendez, facing 19 felony charges for allegedly selling stolen vehicles with forged titles. Police recommend using designated e-commerce zones at police stations. If you are buying cars online, officers can also help verify your vehicle's information. A new study touts the anti-aging benefits of vitamin D supplements. Researchers tracking some 50,000 people over the age of 50 for 5 years, and they found that vitamin D supplements may actually help slow down biological aging by as much as 3 years. This study is published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition, so some good natural sources of vitamin D include fatty fish, wild mushrooms, dairy products, orange juice, and, of course, sunlight. As we take a look at the markets, the Dow right now is down 89 at 41,770. NASDAQ is in positive territory, up more than 0.5%, and the S&P's in the red. Time now for live team coverage of traffic and weather. Ashley Frasca joining us now with a look at your roads.
Thanks, Sabrina. Just found a new crash in the left lane, slowing the ride on the East Freeway. It's I-20 westbound just before Panola Road, so you can go ahead and use Covington Highway to avoid those backups. Not sure how long it'll be there. Held all lanes on the downtown connector to clear a crash. It's now on the shoulder. 75-85 northbound just before I-20. Still pretty heavy on the brakes from 166 Langford Parkway. Now they're setting up that road work in Fairburn and the northbound side of I-85 as well. Left lane blocked in both directions down around Sonoy Road, exit 61. I'm Ashley Frasca, 95.5 WSB.
This is WSB meteorologist Christina Upwards. Sunny skies today, breezy with a northwest wind gusting 25 miles per hour. Today's highs 81, lows tonight in the mid-50s. Tomorrow, mostly sunny, high 79. Saturday, partly to mostly cloudy with an isolated rain shower possible, high near 80.
72 degrees in Woodstock. It's 73 in Sandy Springs and Snellville. We'll have more news at 11 o'clock. Breaking news when it happens. I'm Sabrina Cupid, 95.5 WSB.
If it's happening on the streets of Atlanta,
the Cobb County Medical Examiner's Office identifies 57 sets of cremains.
if it's happening on the roads leading to Atlanta,
Massive project at 285 and Georgia 400 has been a big improvement.
we've got it covered.
Atlanta jurors convict a former Customs and Border Protection officer.
Your 24/7 news source.
Covering the stories that impact you.
Tune in throughout the day to stay up to date.
95.5 WSB, Atlanta's breaking news station.
On this vote, the yeas are 215, the nays are 214.
Still to come, we'll continue our in-depth coverage of the budget passage on the floors of Congress. But as we head up in this busy travel Memorial Day weekend, travel expert Peter Greenberg joins us live next on the Mark Arum Show.
Going back to college, I have sent my father Omaha steaks for Father's Day because who doesn't love steak? Dads love steak. A recent survey showed 75% of Americans agree there's no better way than to spend Father's Day than grilling with the family. Dads love to grill. I remember some great memories as a kid of my dad grilling. Now I do. And I get him Omaha Steaks, and you can too. Shop omahasteaks.com and give your dad the legendary Heartland quality he deserves. Plus, my listeners get an extra $35 off when you put Eric in, E-R-I-C-K, as your promo code at checkout. Unbelievable quality from Omaha Steaks. I am a longtime gift giver of Omaha Steaks. My dad loves Omaha Steaks. Your dad will too. Go to omahasteaks.com, load up your cart with deliciousness, get $35 off, minimum order required, when you use promo code ERIC at checkout. That's omahasteaks.com. You'll get an extra $35 off with promo code ERIC at checkout. Your dad will love you for it.
I'm consumer investigator Dale Cardwell.
And I'm Monica Pearson. Dale and I have worked together for years, first at WSB, and today helping you find Georgia's best companies and sharing why they're the best.
Monica, one of the first companies I researched and recommended is AMCO Transmissions and Total Car Care. For more than a dozen years, they've consistently met my 7-point standard and honored my Make It Right guarantee. And I know you believe in AMCO just as much as I do.
Dale, over the years, we've both reported about people getting taken advantage of. So I'm keenly aware what it takes to deliver not just great performance, but great customer service. People who follow my advice literally stop me on the street and thank me for referring them to AMCO.
We all need mechanics we can trust for correct diagnosis, efficient repair, and fair price. Not just for transmission repair, but engines, brakes, check engine lights, and so much more. Call the locally owned AMCO near you.
And I know their nationwide warranty protects you everywhere.
That's AA
MCO.
Spring storms can dump a lot of rain in a short amount of time, flooding your crawl space and generating mold. Dry it out with American Crawl Space Solutions, your best value for crawl space repair.
American Crawl Space Solutions, foundations too.
10:37 on an absolutely beautiful day here in Atlanta. Welcome back, friends. Coming up in 15 minutes, Kelsey Grammer joins us live. Very excited to talk to the star of Frasier and Cheers, especially after the tragic passing of George Wendt. Right now, though, gearing up. I guess, according to Deborah's research, the Memorial Day travel period has already begun. Joining us live from the City of Angels, CBS News travel expert Peter Greenberg. Peter, thanks for getting up early on the West Coast.
Good morning to you, sir.
All right, so I got to ask, it's Memorial Day. As a travel expert, do you avoid like Memorial Day travel, 4th of July day travel, where we see the biggest backups at TSA?
I do my best to do that, but remember, these days, the holiday starts a lot earlier than normal. Normally, there'll be 45,000 flights a day in the United States. Today is Thursday, the day before the Big Friday, 54,000 flights today alone.
Well, I'm flying to D.C. on Saturday morning. Is that a good time to fly, do you think?
Oh, yeah, because the bulk of the travel has already happened. Yeah, you'll be okay.
Excellent. I am not traveling to Newark, though. Seeing some restrictions when it comes to flights in and out of Newark. What's going on there, and what's the reason for limiting the number of flights in and out of now infamous Newark Airport?
Well, it's the entire Northeast corridor. It's not just Newark. It's Philadelphia. It's New York as well. Last year, the FAA went to the airlines and said, hey, pretty please, would you volunteer to reduce the number of your flights? And some of them did. This year, they're not asking. They're requiring it. The FAA has ordered 15% cuts across the board of flight frequencies out of and into Newark, and the airlines are doing that. And that's going to stay for a while because at the same time, there's runway construction at one of the runways at Newark, which cuts down their capacity for departures and arrivals. So it's going to be a little bit messy this year, or messier than normal, but there is no normal when you consider the fact the problems at Newark and other airports with air traffic control have been going on for 40 years.
Yeah, I would imagine, just supply and demand, if they are limiting the number of flights out of those big northeastern airports, that if flyers from Atlanta up to the Northeast might see increased ticket prices then.
They will, because as they're cutting capacity, airplanes become full, law of supply and demand, as you just mentioned, Mark. Airline tickets will be going up for the summer, no doubt about it.
Interesting. Peter Greenberg, travel expert, joining us live on the Mark Arum Show. One of the worst flight experiences I ever had was flying into Las Vegas a couple of years ago for the World Series of Poker. I usually can handle turbulence pretty well, but this was the most turbulent flight I've ever been on. Getting to research now the worst airports and flight routes for turbulence in North America. Does Vegas make that list?
Vegas does make that list. In fact, almost every city on that list or every route on that list is west of the Rockies on the Continental Divide. So you're going to see Albuquerque to Denver is on that list, Bozeman, Montana, Vancouver, Reno, There you go, Las Vegas, Salt Lake City, even Jackson Hole by itself. And this is something that's been going on for quite some time, but thanks to global warming and climate change, it's happening more in that area.
Yeah, I've never been frightened on a flight, but that I was frightened. Like this was your stomach in your throat kind of turbulence. It's basically the Rocky Mountains that causes a lot of this stuff.
Well, it's Rocky Mountains and temperature changes as well.
Yeah.
So that's what's contributing to it. You know, when the captain says leave your seatbelt on during the flight, you don't have to wait for the seatbelt sign to come on. Just leave it on for the whole flight.
Yeah, I don't take the seatbelt off. I keep it on the whole time. Peter, this just broke this morning, and I don't know how long you've been up. Again, you're out in L.A., but have you heard about the plane crash in San Diego?
I did, and it's not far from me where I am right now. Very little information to report. It was on a flight from Wichita, Kansas to San Diego to a municipal airport there, and very close to its approach, and it was on a final approach, it slammed into a neighborhood. The original pictures that have come out are pretty devastating. What makes it particularly devastating in terms of the visuals is that we can't find any remnants of the plane. That's how hard it hit.
Do we know what kind of aircraft? Was this a commercial airliner? Or?
No, it was a private aircraft. It was a private jet. We're checking on the tail number, but right now, very little information about the number of fatalities and the damage. Of course, they're evacuating that neighborhood. Even though the fires are out, there's a lot of continuing problems there.
All right, we'll keep monitoring that story. One of my biggest pet peeves, and I'm sure I've brought this up with you, is since the airline started charging for checked luggage, every Tom, Dick, and Harry decides to bring on these massive carry-on luggage, and it slows the boarding process. It slows the off-boarding process. Finally, airlines starting to get stricter about carry-on luggage.
Well, look, they're getting strict about it for another reason. They put more seats on the plane, and as a result, it's a physical impossibility. Remember, you're allowed one carry-on bag and one quote-unquote personal item.
Mm-hmm.
Even if you played by the rules, based on the individual number of seats on every plane that's flying today commercially, with very few exceptions, the plane can't handle it, even if everybody played by the rules. So we've seen stories that have come up with, I've actually seen individual memos from Delta, for example, on every aircraft they fly. They may hold 155 passengers. They can hold maybe 72 bags. We're talking overhead compartments. Because they've added more seats to the plane, it's just physically impossible. So that's why everybody wants to be, what a surprise, Mark, in boarding group one. So you can get that piece of luggage in the overhead compartment, but people don't make it. I've seen jetways with 53, I counted them, 53 bags that had to be gate checked that just couldn't get on the plane. And, of course, that created a delay on departure.
Well, prevent that, folks. Just check your stinking bag. Just check. I mean, I'm not talking about like backpacks or little duffel bag, but like the full-size suitcases. Like they should be strict on the size because they used to have the little things at TSA. If your bag doesn't fit, you got to acquit or whatever the sign said.
No, it wasn't that one, Mark. that was the OJ trial.
Yeah, but it frustrates me to no end because you got all these people trying to jam these suitcases, not like a little duffel bag or a backpack up into the overhead bin. All right, I'll stop ranting about that. Finally, I'm going to Japan this summer to see my wife's family, but most of it is about food, right? I want to get the best sushi in the world. Top trending food destinations for the summer of 2025.
Well, in my book, Japan has always been at the top of the list, but they've been there for a while. I would take a look at some other great sites for gastronomy. One is Portugal. One is Malta. Those two really, really rise to the top. Bologna in Italy.
Ooh.
I mean, you can't. Oh my goodness! I mean, I was just there. Stand back! It's the pasta capital and the Parmesan capital. But those three areas right there for me are the home runs.
There you go. All right, Peter, you're in L.A. Where are you heading to next, brother?
Taking the red eye tonight. I'm getting out as fast as I can to get back to New York.
Excellent. All right. Well, thanks for jumping up, waking up early, and give us amazing travel insight. Folks want to subscribe to your newsletter, watch you on TV. Where can we find more information?
The most imaginatively named website ever, petergreenberg.com.
Love it. Peter, safe travels. Thanks, as always, for your time, brother.
You got it, Mark.
There you go. Peter S. Greenberg, fantastic travel expert. All right, we're going to break a little early to check traffic because I want to have more time with our next guest, Kelsey Grammer, the legend, is going to join us live here in just a couple of minutes on the Mark Arum Show. But the start of the Memorial Day travel season is here. Are we seeing any delays yet on the roads, Ashley Frasca?
We are. It's still slow to recover in downtown from the morning drive on 75-85 northbound. Plus, we had a crash that cleared to the shoulder on the connector north at I-20, so you stay a little bit slow up to Freedom Parkway. And this crash in the left lane, I-20 westbound before Panola Road, has you on the brakes before Lithonia Industrial Boulevard. Look out for that. And the work zone in Fairburn, left lane blocked in both directions with construction on I-85 at Sonoy Road, exit 61. I'm Ashley Frasca, 95.5 WSB.
Listening to 95.5 WSB pays.
No way! The WSB 5K a day bonus blitz.
That is awesome. 5 chances a day to win $5,000.
Download the WSB app. Your next chance to win is coming up at noon.
Oh my God.
From 95.5 WSB.
Home is where the heart is. It's your happy place, right? But when bugs and critters bust in, not so happy, and it happened to me. Hey, it's Mark Arum from my pals at Breda Pest Management. Boy, did they come to our rescue. When we moved to our new home, we were shocked to see 2 beady little eyes in the basement. So gross. What do? We called Breda to kick those critters out. They found and secured a bunch of entry points. Next, they trapped and removed the critters, disposed of their nesting, disinfect and deodorized, all like they were never even there. And check this out, guys. Under the Breda Wildlife Guarantee, if critters chew new holes in your home, you stay protected at no additional cost. Only Breda guarantees old and new entry points, while others only cover what they originally sealed. Breda, they handle bugs and critters the best in the biz. BREDA Pest.com.
Breda, no need to be afraid of bugs.
The perfect match for your next roof is Fenley Roofing. Fenley has already helped over 65,000 Georgia families and has over 2,000 5-star reviews. So you'll be sure you get your roof done right. Learn more at FenleyRoofing.com.
Mom and Dad seem different after a European-style holiday on MSC Cruises.
Call us Cloud and Yvette.
The ship had restaurants, shops, and nightlife.
La Galleria.
And of course, American touches, like an aqua park and a sweets shop.
American je ne sais quoi.
Mom, you're from Wisconsin.
Wisconsin, Kevin. Book now and save up to 40% off, plus kids sail free. MSC Cruises. Let's holiday. To book, visit msccruises.com or contact your travel advisor. Restrictions apply. Ships registered in Panama and Malta.
I'm here with Chris Hoffman, the founder of Hoffman Financial Group and host of Money Unleashed. Chris, with all the things we're reading, seeing, and living through these days, from rate cuts, election season, and now a new administration, now seems like a great time to make sure we have that comprehensive plan in place. You know, the one that covers all our financial bases.
There are occasions throughout the year where I feel like it's critical for people to engage their financial lives and get the information that they deserve from a financial advisory team. And this is one of those times, to be quite frank. So we ask that you call us if you have a minimum of $500,000 in your full portfolio. But we're going to do away with that minimum so that those folks can have an equal opportunity to understand what's in their portfolio as well. Now, you have to have some money, right? I can't help you to build your wealth at work, right? But I sure can help, I believe, with your 401k, IRA management. There's probably 2 or 3 things that'll surprise you that you may want to take action on. So the next 10 people that call in, we'll work up either a portfolio x-ray, or if you feel like you need a full retirement plan, go to unleashyourmoney.com, click on portfolio x-ray, or click on full retirement plan. We think you'll be impressed enough, and we want you to become a client. There's no question about it. We believe that we are a very competent fiduciary advisory team, and we want to offer that to our listeners. Let Hoffman Financial Group actually show you how we perform, and I believe we perform at the pinnacle of this industry.
Call the Hoffman Financial Group at 404-737-3858, 404-737-3858, or online at unleashyourmoney.com. Investment advisory services offered through Brookstone Wealth Advisors, a registered investment advisor. Insurance and annuities offered through Hoffman Financial Group Incorporated, Georgia Insurance License number 163546.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Last year, more clients hired Morgan & Morgan than ever before. We now have more offices, more staff, and more lawyers than any other injury firm in the world, protecting America, fighting for you.
Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Seems everything costs more these days. Gas, groceries, and when's the last time you checked your wireless bill? Yikes. When it comes to big wireless, if you're staying, you may be overpaying. Switch to Consumer Cellular and get the same fast, reliable nationwide coverage without the big wireless bill. Plans start at just $20 a month, and that's not a short-term promo. But don't just take our word for it. Here's Jackie and Veronica, real customers.
I didn't know that I could get something for a lot less money that was actually better than who I was with before.
Anytime anybody complains about their cell phone bill, we say, you've got to check out Consumer Cellular.
Our US-based experts will get you switched and saving in about 20 minutes. Just call or click to see how much you can save today. Because when it comes to big wireless, if you're staying, you may be overpaying. Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit ConsumerCellular.com. That's 1-888-FREEDOM or ConsumerCellular.com today. Real people pay to share their opinions in this ad. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing.
Hey baby, I hear the blues are calling, tossed salads and scrambled eggs. And maybe I seem a bit confused. Yeah, maybe, but I got you pegged.
10:51 on the Mark Arum Show. Kelsey Grammer's going to join us in a second. This, of course, the theme to Frasier. The first question I'm going to ask Mr. Grammer is, did he sing that, Deborah? Was he the vocalist on?
Oh, not that I know of, but he might have done a version of it. I've never known.
Can we play it again, Longoria?
It could be.
On here it says Kelsey Grammer.
Yeah.
All right,
tossed
could
salad
be.
and scrambled eggs.
Yeah, I think he sang that. I wonder if he gets residuals every time that is played. Kelsey Grammer's going to join us in just a minute. He's got a new book out, and obviously we're going to talk about the passing of George Wendt, his former co-star on Cheers. I do want to quickly update the budget battle. Manu Raju just moments ago on Capitol Hill updating the single vote passage on the House floor.
Yeah, this is a sweeping bill, really dealing with a wide range of issues, everything from changes on immigration laws, more money for the border security measures, as well as more money to try to increase the U.S. defense posture, but very significantly, a massive overhaul of the United States tax code. It would permanently extend the 2017 Trump-era tax cuts, but also add new provisions dealing with taxes on tips, changes how state and local taxes are deducted, and then spending cuts. Major spending cuts to domestic programs, including on issues like food stamps, as new work requirements for those food stamp benefits, new work requirements for Medicaid benefit recipients as well that would kick in at the end of 2026. A whole slew of changes that actually did not go far enough for a number of those hardline members who wanted much more in terms of spending cuts. They were concerned, Wolf, about the deficit impacts from this proposal. In fact, this proposal is expected to increase the deficit by nearly $4 trillion over the next several years. That is according to the nonpartisan Congressional Budget Office. And that was what a number of these hardline members had said to me going into the vote, said they could not support something like this. But they ultimately changed their mind because under pressure from Donald Trump and from the Speaker of the House and facing this vote, they decided that they were going to accept what they ultimately could get in the bill and accept the fact that they couldn't get everything.
Manu Raju moments ago. Again, the passage of the bill in Congress now heads to the Senate. We'll update that story as it develops. Joining us live now, the legend that is Kelsey Grammer. Mr. Grammer, good morning. Thanks for your time.
Good morning, and thank you for yours.
Condolences, by the way, in the passing of George Wendt, your Cheers co-star. What was your relationship with George like?
Well, we had a good relationship. You know, it's funny. You spend basically every day of your life with somebody for, a decade or so. And then everybody feels really, really close. And then you go off to different worlds, different lives, different families. And you don't see each other as much. But, I did have the good fortune to see George from time to time. We always had a lovely, a re-meeting always. And we always had a little fun and a good laugh. George was a terrific guy. I was surprised, of course, that he was gone,
Yeah.
And I know he'd go through a lot at this point, but it seemed a little too early. I don't know, the number doesn't really have much value. it's the energy of the life that's there.
I mean,
I just was surprised he was gone.
But a perfectly cast show was Cheers. You're most known for Cheers and Frasier. But to be honest, Kelsey, my favorite show and role of yours was Boss. Why did that only last 18 episodes? What happened there?
Well, it wasn't like a backstage problem. It was just that there were a couple of people who were creative individuals who had input on the show who wanted things to go a slightly different way. It just didn't turn out that way.
God,
and so,
such a good show.
The network's like that.
What's funny, I remember when that show was on, I had the then mayor of Atlanta on after, and I asked him, I was like, hey, have you seen the show Boss about a crooked mayor? And he's like, no. And then it turned out he was crooked. So full circle moment there.
When I was doing the show, Tom Menino, it was an old friend of mine who was the mayor of Boston. He called me one day and said, how did you figure all this out? He said, we all go through this crap. I said, well, it was, we actually based it on a sort of a Shakespeare play. We based it on King Lear and just thought, what town is like a kingdom in America? Chicago.
Yeah.
It was one of my favorite roles.
Such a good show. So Kelsey's on New York Times bestseller list, the book Karen, A Brother Remembers. Tell us about this book and why it's so important to you.
It's something I've lived with for 50 years, the passing of my sister, the murder of my sister, and wrestled with how to keep it in perspective and keep her close to me throughout the years. And honestly, the grief was always too overwhelming. I was pretty trapped in it for a long time and found my way out, worked through a lot of things. But recently, when I was doing a channeling session with a pretty famous medium, she said, oh, your sister's telling me to tell her story.
Whoa.
And I thought, well, how would I go about doing that? And so I started to jot down some notes about 3 years ago and realized that this was a mission for me to heal and hopefully help others heal. And also sort of introduce my sister to the world. What a great girl she was, because honestly, her death had taken that away from me, to remember how much fun we'd had. And this book helps me remember. And it got me to a place where I haven't lost the grief, but at least now it's balanced with a real sense of what a fantastic thing we had together and what a wonderful girl she was.
Did you say
and
she
now
was...
to actually say to other people who say, Kelsey, I just read the book. My God, Karen was wonderful. And to hear them say her name has been fantastic for me.
Did you say she was murdered when she was 18? Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
my gosh. That's awful.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
It was a tough time.
Well, I mean, gosh, thankfully you went to see the median, or else we might not have seen this book. Karen, A Brother Remembers, bestseller list everywhere. It's out right now. I suggest everyone go and read it. Kelsey, so good to have you on the show. Welcome back every time. We are such a huge fan of you and your work, and we're definitely all going to go out and buy this book.
Thanks so much, man. Thank you.
There you go, Kelsey Grammer. Oh, I didn't ask. Kelsey, you still there? Kelsey? Yep. Confirm. Did you sing the song to Frasier?
I did.
Okay, good. All right, I won that bet. There it is.
There you go.
So he's a fantastic song singer, a fantastic actor, and of course now a fantastic author. Kelsey Grammer, everybody. All right, when we come back, bittersweet moment. Appalachia High seniors are graduating after that horrific shooting. We're going to go to Appalachia High next.
Scrambled eggs all over my face.
WSB Atlanta, WSBB FM, and HD1 Doraville. 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's news and talk.
Why do I say Advanced Hair is absolutely the best in the biz? Well, I've been to the facilities, I've met the physicians, I've met the medical staff, I've seen the before and after pictures at advancedhair.com. Without a doubt, they are the best in the business. If you have a receding hairline, bald spots, just not happy with what's going on top of your head, check out Advanced Hair. Quick, simple, one-day treatment. Your real hair begins to regrow the very next day, and it's even guaranteed to grow for life. Best in the biz, friends. If you want to get your hair back, now's the time. Advanced Hair is the place. Takes just one visit, but first, you'll need a free consultation. So go ahead and schedule now. 470-660-HAIR, 470-660-HAIR, or advancedhair.com. And if you move forward, you get $250 off, plus 250 free grafts. One-day treatment, life-changing results, the best in the business. Your own natural hair guaranteed to grow online at advancedhair.com.
News, weather,
traffic. 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's news and talk.
It's 11 o'clock. Good morning. I'm Sabrina Cupid. This news is sponsored by Dr. Roof. Atlanta police are investigating after a 3-year-old is found wandering alone in southeast Atlanta.
Police say the child appears to suffer from malnutrition and had minor cuts and scratches when they were found on someone's doorstep on Belfort Road overnight. The homeowner called 911 and the 3-year-old was taken to the hospital for treatment. Officers went door to door in the area looking for the child's parents or guardians, but have not found them. DFAX has been notified and the investigation continues. Jennifer Perry, 95.5 WSB.
All right, your weather for today is going to be mostly sunny and breezy. Afternoon highs 81, says WSB meteorologist Christina Edwards. Happening now, a driver charged with killing an 8-year-old Henry County girl has pleaded guilty today. The girl was hit as she was getting onto a school bus in February 2024. Kaylee Andre charged with first-degree vehicular homicide, failure to stop for a school bus loading and unloading, and failure to exercise due care. This deadly accident sparked the creation of Addie's Law, and right now, inside that courthouse, sentencing is underway.
She has always had a love for people. She's been very faithful attending the church.
And Kaylee Andre could get up to 15 years in prison for the vehicular homicide charge. We'll be watching. Now let's go to San Diego. A small plane has crashed into a military housing neighborhood there.
I can't quite put words to describe what this scene looks like, but with the jet fuel going down the street, and everything on fire all at once, it was pretty horrific to see.
And that is San Diego Police Chief Scott Wall on the scene. We are now getting word that multiple people were killed. This just in, the Supreme Court blocking what would have been the nation's first publicly funded religious charter school. Laura Jarrett has more.
That means that the lower court's decision is upheld. And the Supreme Court in Oklahoma had said, no, you can't have a taxpayer-funded religious charter school like this. It violates the Constitution.
And this case is out of Oklahoma, where there were plans for a Catholic virtual school. It was appealed to the nation's highest court, which was split at 4-4. When that happens, the lower court's ruling is upheld. The justices did not explain their vote. This ruling only applies to Oklahoma. The FDA is ordering COVID-19 vaccine makers to expand their warning labels now. Pfizer and Moderna will have to let people know about the risk of possible heart inflammation related to the mRNA shots, especially in teenage boys and young men. Moderna's warning label now issues such a warning for men 18 to 24, while Pfizer's label specifies 12 to 17-year-olds. So this new warning label for both companies will now specify ages 16 through 25. This order is based on research published last year, although the Atlanta-based CDC had previously said that potential side effects involving the heart were rare and generally resolved quickly. Hundreds of jobs are coming to Metro Atlanta thanks to Mercedes-Benz. The automaker currently employs some 800 people at its headquarters in Sandy Springs, but that's going to soon jump by another 500 positions. They're closing some North American offices and bringing the operations to Georgia. Also in the works is a new multi-million-dollar research and development facility that will be built nearby. Let's take a look at the markets. The Dow right now is down 36 at 41,823. NASDAQ is up almost 0.5%, and the S&P is down slightly. Time now for live team coverage of traffic and weather. Alex Williams, how are we doing on the roads?
Got some better news for those traveling out of Lithonia, passing the mall at Stonecrest on I-20 westbound. The crash over at Panola Road, exit 71. That has cleared everything back open there. Here we go with the road work again in Fairburn, 85 both north and southbound. Highway 74, Sonoya Road, exit 61. Left lane blocked both ways there. And as we creep closer to the holiday weekend, 75 southbound already getting slower through Stockbridge, starting before Highway 138 passing Hudson Bridge Road. Alex Williams, 95.5 WSB.
I'm WSB meteorologist Christina Upwards. Mostly sunny today, breezy at times, high 81, lows tonight in the mid-50s. Tomorrow, sunny skies, high 79. Saturday, partly to mostly cloudy with an isolated rain shower possible, high near 80.
It is 72 degrees in Canton, Sugar Hill. You have 73 degrees, and it's 73 here in Midtown. We'll have more news at 11:30, breaking news when it happens. I'm Sabrina Cupid, 95.5 WSB.
I want this town to be near you.
11:04 on another fast-moving Thursday. Welcome back, friends. Mark Arum and crew with you till noon, at your beck and call till noon, if you will. A couple of big stories. The budget passed on the Congress floor this morning, just before 7 a.m. by one vote. Magic Johnson Speaker Mike Johnson, that's his new moniker, by the way. No offense to Irvin Magic Johnson, the original Magic Johnson, but he got it done 24 hours ago. It didn't look likely, but it has passed. Now it heads to the Senate. Obviously, we're going to monitor that. Updating the tragic news in D.C. last night, the slaying of 2 Israeli embassy workers. We are waiting to hear more from Attorney General Pam Bondi and the president on that as we brace for Memorial Day weekend. When I think of Memorial Day, Deborah, do you know what I think of?
What?
Graduation. Everyone graduates around this time. In Connecticut, it's like a month later, so I didn't graduate anywhere near Memorial Day. And I was on Facebook yesterday, and I'm friends with a couple of moms of kids that go to Appalachia High, and they're marking what a bittersweet year it has been, and they want to put everything behind them. But the seniors at Appalachia High are graduating, and they're going to have some company, apparently, across the graduation stage. Joining us live on the Mark Arum Show, it's Amanda Davis. Amanda, good morning.
Good morning.
So you are the founder, the owner, the proprietor of Bella's Buddies. What's your exact title?
Right. Well, I'm a former teacher and school administrator in Texas. I retired. I had a transplant a few years back, and I retired and volunteered with my golden retriever, and things kind of exploded from there. More and more schools would ask if I could come visit and help with Child Protective Services interviews or law enforcement interviews. I helped with behavior issues sometimes using the dogs.
This organization is, hold on, I'm sorry, Amanda, I just want to make it clear to the listeners. Bella's Buddies, it's a therapy dog organization, right? You provide therapy dogs for all of these wonderful causes. And after the tragic shooting at Appalachia High, Bella's Buddies stepped up and you provided therapy dogs for the students, teachers, faculty at Appalachia High.
Right. So, we actually train facility dogs. So there's a little bit of a difference. A facility dog works full-time alongside a staff member or faculty member. So every time that person goes to work, they take the dog with them. So a therapy dog is normally owned by someone in the community who volunteers at different organizations like at hospitals, schools, libraries, fire stations. But a facility dog actually works in that one building with everyone that's there. So the dogs that we train, we do this across the nation. There are on average 6 school shootings a week.
Oh my
and we only hear about what the media wants us to know. But Appalachia was kind of big news across the nation. So, if it's local, everyone knows when something happens, but it doesn't happen as often as it should when something reaches the national media. So when we saw back, in the fall, what had happened at Appalachia, we immediately reached out and we offered a full-time dog. So not all the dogs that are at Appalachia came from us, but Rally did. And he was already in training. We just didn't know what school he was going to go to. And then when this happened, we reached out to Barrow County Schools to offer him. And he ended up going a little bit sooner than we would normally place them, just because we felt like the need was greater. And we've been able to work with his handler, who's a counselor there, Renee Canales. And we placed him, I think, in February or March.
What was the name of the dog, Amanda?
A couple months back. Rally. He's a golden retriever.
Rally's a faculty dog, not a therapy
He's a
dog.
faculty dog.
All right.
Right,
So
right.
how long has Rally been there, Amanda? And I guess I'm burying the headline. Rally is set to graduate with the Appalachia High seniors.
Right. I think he may have had to practice wearing his cap on his head.
Yes.
So they sent me a picture this morning. So he went late January, early February, and when we placed him, I came and stayed for a week there and worked with his handler and the counseling staff there and some of the students. He also walks alongside the school resource officers in the building throughout the day. And I think that, if just for a few minutes, if he can, help the students think about living forward and give them a little bit of hope and maybe just forget just for a few minutes about the daily struggles of being a teenager in today's world.
Yeah.
And
I mean,
having to set goals. And
absolutely.
so just on a daily basis without the tragedy, a lot of our schools that have our dogs are able to help students, look to the future with a little ray of sunshine.
Amanda, I've got news coming up at noon, so I want to move this along a little bit. Rally is graduating. Is Rally done at Appalachie High? Will he return next year?
He's going to stay there. I mean, he's with his
great.
handler. He's at Appalachie until he retires. So it's not a temporary placement. This is permanent. He came with a $2 million insurance policy, and we've covered all those costs. As a 501c3, we have to raise money to be able to train and place the dogs. But all his vet care is covered. Everything's covered. So we
That's
depend
amazing.
on donations from local businesses and grants, if we can find those, to fund each placement.
Gotcha. And if folks want to donate to this amazing charitable cause, where can we find your website about these amazing faculty dogs that you provide?
Our website is www.bellasbuddiesinc.org.
www, don't forget that, folks, .bellasbuddiesinc.org. And people
Right,
can
correct.
donate right on the website?
Yeah, yep.
Excellent. Amanda, you're doing
Which
God's
would be
work.
great and much appreciated. So I'll throw in real quick, we are actually placing a dog with Coach Phoenix, who was injured during the shooting.
That's right.
Back in the fall.
Now, will that be
And
a
he will be
faculty
getting
dog
his
or
dog
a-
this summer?
Will that be a faculty dog also?
He's retiring,
Yeah.
so this dog will just be alongside him as he retires. He's given a lot of good years to Appalachie, and I think he's hanging up his coach's whistle and is going to enjoy some late time, but he'll have a dog alongside him to do that.
That's amazing. Yeah, you're doing God's work, Amanda. Thanks for doing this. Thanks for joining us and spreading the
Thank
word.
you guys. Have a great day.
You as well. Amanda Davis. Appalachie High. Rally, graduating, but coming back next school year, which is great. So the juniors, one of my friends, she's a mom of a junior and a freshman at Appalachie High. And so her son will be a senior next year. So if he had an attachment to Rally, the faculty dog, Rally's going to stay there till he retires, which I think is great. Deborah, goodness gracious, can you imagine having dogs in school when we were kids?
That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
Running around the hallway, everybody would have. There'd be no school bullying.
Yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right. Who's going to you got Rally there?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, beagles would not be a good faculty dog. They just Soba just follows her nose. It doesn't matter. It absolutely does.
She's so cute though.
Yeah, she's adorable, but she wouldn't do what she's told. If she would go straight for the cafeteria every morning. You let her in you'd open the doors to the school and she'd make a beeline to the kitchen. Anyway, Amanda Davis, not Atlanta's Amanda Davis, rest in peace, but Amanda Davis from Bella's Buddies. You got to get the www in first, and then Bella's Buddies Inc.org. Deborah, another Ozempic story. We've talked about Ozempic tummy issues, Ozempic hair, and now Ozempic teeth. What can you tell us about this?
Yeah, more side effects from Ozempic usage, this time Ozempic teeth. It's a range of dental issues, everything from dry mouth to it causing bad breath, gum disease, bleeding gums, and even tooth decay. And they're saying it's because Ozempic oppresses your appetite. So you're eating less, which means you're producing less saliva, and saliva is actually good for your teeth. It neutralizes the acids. It kind of kills the bacteria naturally. And so by eating less, you kind of have all this gross, dry stuff in your mouth. So thanks, Ozempic.
Oh, that's and plus fewer nutrients, I would imagine.
Yeah.
All right, I don't know. I'm not judging. Listen, if you do whatever makes you feel better, but the number of side effects coming out is.
I mean, how, great, you've lost some weight, maybe you're healthier with diabetes and everything. That's fantastic. But if you've got those jacked up teeth,
You got meth teeth.
Yeah.
Never mind Ozempic teeth. You got meth teeth. One more. I'm not going to say this, but tariff prices. And I knew this was coming, right? Because you think of what is predominantly made in Asia are sneakers, right? Nike sneakers. Nike prices on the rise up, Deborah?
Yep, Nike's going to raise prices on footwear, apparel, and any equipment because of tariffs. So adults' stuff's going to go up by $2 to $10. Children's probably $5 to $10. Although if it's children's and it's under $100, Nike says they'll leave the prices as is. But they're using tariffs to increase everything at Nike.
One of my best friends works at Nike. You might remember, was it last spring break? Ma and I went out there to Oregon and Seattle, and she took me to the Nike employee store, and I bought the cool. I've never owned cool sneakers in my life, and I bought cool sneakers. In fact, Tony from Kiss's morning show commented on he's like, "Hey, are those Air Maxes?" I was like, "Yeah, they're Air Maxes." And I told him the story. So I talked to her about this, and I said, because Nike got ahead of this, they moved a lot of their production to Vietnam to get away from manufacturing so much stuff in China. And then Vietnam's getting whacked with major tariffs. So what is it, $2 to $10 average increase on the?
Yep, 2 to 10.
Does Nike make gloves?
Golf gloves, don't they?
Golf gloves, yeah. All right, I got a glove story. It's kind of morbid, but kind of interesting. Some treasured presidential artifacts have sold at auction for a hefty sum. Longoria's Aunt Deborah Rodriguez has the details.
When the bidding was over, someone had paid more than $1.5 million for a pair of blood-stained white gloves that were in Abraham Lincoln's pocket the night he was assassinated. Also sold 2 handkerchiefs Mr. Lincoln had with him at the Ford Theater on April 14, 1865. They went for $826,000. A wanted poster with photos of the shooter, John Wilkes Booth, and 2 other suspects in the assassination conspiracy brought in $762,000. The money will pay off the remainder of a 2-decade-old loan the Presidential Foundation used to buy a one-of-a-kind collection of Lincoln artifacts from a California collector. Deborah Rodriguez, CBS News.
Lincoln artifacts people go nuts over Lincoln artifacts. I don't know if I'd want a bloody glove. That's a little too far. But a handkerchief I could see. The wanted poster, though, I remember seeing that. You ever watch Pawn Stars, Longoria? There was a guy that had one of those original John Wilkes.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I can't remember how much they appraised it at, but it was like $750,000. For like a really good condition John Wilkes Booth wanted poster. You got Lincoln stuff, you're good. Unless it's a Lincoln penny, which it might be more valuable now because it appears penny production about to cease. When we come back, Michael Bologna from Bloomberg News is going to talk about the cessation of Lincoln pennies. Will we be a penniless society? Perhaps. Alex Williams has a pocket full of change to get you to work and school on time. That makes no sense, Alex, but good morning, my friend.
Yeah, we'll run with it. We got the construction out there on the south side, left lane blocked both ways on 85 in Fairburn. 85 north and southbound, Highway 74, Sonoya Road, exit 61. You're seeing some brake lights there. 75 south, a little bunched up through Stockbridge, passing I-675. And if you're up in the Duluth area, Sugarloaf Parkway, pretty slow in both directions, right around Gas South Arena. That is due to some Gwinnett County graduations taking place in that area throughout the day, so that's going to bunch up that ride. Be mindful of that. Traffic brought to you by Whole Foods Market. Shop sweet savings at Whole Foods Market. Get 16-ounce packs of organic strawberries for $3.99 each with Prime through May 27th while supplies last. Shop in store or online. Terms apply. Alex Williams, 95.5 WSB.
Where you get your news is where you win.
Download the WSB app and get ready for the WSB 5K a day bonus blitz.
That's amazing. 5 chances a day to win $5,000.
The WSB 5K a day bonus blitz.
5 words, 5 times a day, every weekday. Are you serious?
Your next chance to win is coming up at noon.
Just enter the word at WSBRadio.com or on the WSB Radio app. Oh, no. The WSB 5K a day bonus blitz
on 95.5 WSB.
Is your old AC unit ready for another sweltering Atlanta summer? Probably not. Hey, good news. Mark Aaron back from my friends at Reliable. Great new deal going on right now, guys. Any size AC, just $69.99 a month, 0 down, low monthly payments, and next day installation guaranteed, or they pay you $500. Any AC, just $69.99 a month. Book an appointment for a convenient time right on their website at reliableair.com and click on the schedule service button or call or text 770-594-9969.
$5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up, and I've already made around $300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back? If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code LIKE to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code LIKE for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code LIKE for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
Hope. It's more than a word. It's a breakthrough in the making. At City of Hope, we're pushing the boundaries of science, targeting cancer at the molecular level, with teams of experts working together to personalize a treatment plan right down to your DNA with unprecedented speed, making every second count, with appointments in as little as 24 hours. City of Hope, advancing cancer care at life-saving speed. Learn more at cityofhope.org.
I'm here with Chris Hoffman, the founder of Hoffman Financial Group, to discuss one of the biggest blind spots that people face when saving for retirement, and it's a head-scratcher. Chris, how do so many people not know what they're invested in?
That's the biggest flaw that everybody runs into. They think they know what equities they have, they think they know what bonds they have, but they really don't know how those mutual funds or how those index funds are performing in conjunction with one another. So, I would liken this to a big pot of soup, and we're just throwing all the ingredients in the refrigerator in this thing. It's not very good. It's just a mishmash of stuff. And sometimes you like the way it tastes. Sometimes you don't. And when you don't know why. You don't know if you got too much chicken in there or too much vegetables in there or what's going on. And I ask every caller that comes in for an initial consultation, do you know how your portfolio is broken down? And they say, well, I've got, 20 or so options in my 401k, and I just picked 2 of them or 3 of them. I thought I needed some international. I thought I needed some U.S. equities. I thought I needed some bonds. And they're just guessing. So you have to absolutely know what you're invested in, and that's where we will run the 401k portfolio x-ray for you, because that'll break it down. If you're not proficient at investing and don't understand this world, we will walk you through it. Not knowing what you're invested in is a big hindrance to growing and protecting your money. We will run a portfolio x-ray for you and educate you on exactly what's in your portfolio.
Set up a time to get your complimentary portfolio x-ray today. Call the Hoffman Financial Group at 404-737-3858. That's 404-737-3858, or book online at unleashyourmoney.com. Investment advisory services offered through Brookstone Wealth Advisors, a registered investment advisor. Insurance and annuities offered through Hoffman Financial Group Incorporated, Georgia Insurance License number 163546.
Comcast Business is celebrating Small Business Month by giving you a $1,000 small business bonus when you switch to a qualifying gig speed package from the company with over 99.99% network reliability. Just imagine the thousands of possibilities of a $1,000 prepaid card. Like possibility number 1, company merch for staff. Styling. Or possibility number 24, the latest software upgrade. Or possibility number 192, new equipment powered by gig speeds. Or possibility number 555, a 3D printer. Rapid prototyping, anyone? Switch to Comcast Business for over 99.99% network reliability, advanced cybersecurity, and now get started with a $1,000 small business bonus. Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
and 6/22/25. New customers only with 2-year agreement. Other restrictions apply.
This is Greg Trzynski from the Original Mattress Factory. A few years back, there was a surge of online mattress companies offering a one-feel-fits-all mattress. Eventually, they all added more selections. Why? They discovered what we've known for over 30 years. Everyone has unique preferences. At the Original Mattress Factory, we hand-build a range of comfort choices so that you can select the one that suits you best. Don't rely on someone else's opinion. Try out a variety of options and find the one that's right for you. OriginalMattress.com.
You still want a new deck on your house, but you think you may have missed a deck building window? Well, you're wrong. Dave Baker here. At Ben Hill Renovations, deck building goes on year-round. Whether your existing deck is old, rotting, and unsafe, or you just want to upgrade your outdoor living space, now is the perfect time to get the ball rolling. Check out their new website at bhrenovations.com. Better yet, go to their showroom, speak with the designer, and see all that they have to offer up close. Ben Hill Renovations, creating raving fans since 1964.
Headline from Bloomberg News, penny shortages could come as soon as January. Covering the story for Bloomberg, Michael Bologna. Michael, real quick, you don't have much time, but why will we see a penny shortage starting in January?
Well, what we know is yesterday some Treasury officials announced that the Treasury is no longer purchasing the blanks needed to produce pennies, and that actual penny manufacturing by the U.S. Mint would stop within the next month. And so between, the last bit of manufacturing that's going to happen and the amount in stores that the Federal Reserve currently has, retailers are probably going to run out of pennies at the cash register, at least beginning next January or February.
What about listeners that have a jar of pennies at home on their bureau drawer? With the shortage of pennies, are those pennies going to become more valuable, perhaps?
Perhaps. I mean, it's hard to say how consumers are really going to respond to this. Treasury did discuss the possibility of maybe like an information campaign where they would try and get people to pull hundreds of billions of dollars, tens of billions of dollars of pennies back into circulation to go through sort of a transition period. But there could be a period within 5 years where we probably wouldn't see pennies anymore. But, that'll be a transition.
Michael Bologna, Bloomberg News. Thank you, Michael. Sabrina's got your news, weather, and traffic. When we come back, checking the housing market in Metro Atlanta. And Deborah's got tickets to give away to see Metallica. That's next on The Mark Arum Show.
Hey, it's Belinda. You know, when I built my home 21 years ago, I made one of the best decisions ever. I called Arrow Exterminators, and because of them, I still don't have bugs. Right now, termites are swarming, mosquitoes are buzzing, and ants are biting. Yep, it's spring, and so there are pests. Don't let pests ruin your spring. Protect your home and yard with Arrow's proven pest control solutions. Arrow Exterminators uses the most effective and environmentally friendly solutions available. Plus, they offer a 100% customer satisfaction guarantee. It's that dedication to quality and care that's kept them family-owned for over 61 years. Get started today with a free home or business pest inspection. Just call 888-GO-ARROW or visit them online at arrowexterminators.com and tell them Belinda sent you. Trust me, you'll be glad you did.
Cancer upends your life. We're doing all we can to change that. At Winship Cancer Institute of Emory University, we're reimagining the care experience to ease the burden of cancer. With experts in your cancer and the research, trials, and treatments you can only get here. All so you can focus on what matters most, the best chance of living a full life. Winship Cancer Institute of Emory University. Cancer care designed around you and your life. EmoryHealthcare.org/Winship.
I'm consumer investigator Dale Cardwell.
And I'm Monica Pearson. Dale and I have worked together for years, first at WSB, and today helping you find Georgia's best companies and sharing why they're the best.
Monica, one of the first companies I researched and recommended is Amco Transmissions and Total Car Care. For more than a dozen years, they've consistently met my 7-point standard and honored my Make It Right guarantee. And I know you believe in Amco just as much as I do.
Dale, over the years, we've both reported about people getting taken advantage of. So I'm keenly aware what it takes to deliver not just great performance, but great customer service. People who follow my advice literally stop me on the street and thank me for referring them to AMCO.
We all need mechanics we can trust for correct diagnosis, efficient repair, and fair price. Not just for transmission repair, but engines, brakes, check engine lights, and so much more. Call the locally owned AMCO near you.
And I know their nationwide warranty protects you everywhere.
That's AA.
MCO.
Hey, remember that crack in the concrete by your pool, the one everyone keeps tripping on? It's still there. AquaGuard Foundation Solutions can fix that. Just schedule a free inspection at aquaguard.net and a team of experts will stop by to help you out. Remember the name.
AquaGuard. Live from the Superior Plumbing Studios.
News,
weather,
traffic.
95.5 WSB.
Atlanta's News and Talk.
It's 11:30. Good morning. I'm Sabrina Cupid. This news sponsored by Rocco's European Garage. This just in.
And how do you wish to plead to these charges? Guilty or not guilty?
A driver charged with killing an 8-year-old Henry County girl as she was getting off a school bus in February of 2024 has pleaded guilty today, and she has just now been sentenced to 15 years, 8 to serve. Kaylee Andres, charged with first-degree vehicular homicide, failure to stop for a school bus loading and unloading, and then failure to exercise due care. This deadly accident sparked the creation of Addie's Law, which makes the consequences harsher for drivers who pass a stopped school bus when children are getting on or off of the bus. Your weather for today, mostly sunny, breezy, afternoon highs around 81, says WSB meteorologist Christina Edwards. Happening now, police searching for the parents of a 3-year-old who was found abandoned on Belfort Road in southeast Atlanta. Police say the child had some minor scratches and lacerations and appeared to be suffering from malnutrition when that child was found last night just before 10:30. The child is at Children's Healthcare of Atlanta's Hugh Spalding Hospital being treated. Authorities say multiple people on board a private plane that crashed into a San Diego neighborhood are dead.
This time, we're continuing to fight the fire on that car fire. Everything else is out from the homes down the way.
Assistant Fire Department Chief Dan Eddy says during a news conference today that they will be investigating whether the plane hit a power line early this morning. He says no one on the ground was hurt. A federal judge has blocked President Trump's executive order to shut down the Education Department and ordered the agency to reinstate employees who were fired in mass layoffs. This marks a setback to one of Trump's campaign promises. The Supreme Court blocking what would have been the nation's first publicly funded religious charter school. The case is out of Oklahoma, where there were plans for a Catholic virtual school. The state Supreme Court shot it down, saying it was unconstitutional. And that was appealed to the nation's highest court, which was split at 4-4. A major automaker announcing plans to bring hundreds of new jobs to Metro Atlanta.
Mercedes-Benz says it will centralize its North American operations to its existing U.S. headquarters in Sandy Springs, bringing with it up to 500 new jobs. 800 people already work there. The move's expected to be complete by August 2026. The automaker also announcing plans to build a new multi-million-dollar research and development facility nearby. Governor Kemp says the state continues to attract world-class companies, saying Georgia's, quote, the best state for business and opportunity. Austin Eller, 95.5 WSB.
While we're talking about jobs, the weekly jobs report is out, and it shows fewer Americans are filing for jobless benefits. Jim Ryan has more.
The consensus among analysts was for 2,000 more claims for jobless benefits to have been filed in the week leading up to May 17th. The actual number has come in 2,000 below the figure of 2 weeks ago. All told, 227,000 initial filings were made, with just over 1.9 million jobless Americans overall receiving benefits.
As we take a look at the markets, the Dow's currently down 36 at 41,823. NASDAQ is up almost 0.5%, and the S&P's down slightly. Time now for live team coverage of traffic and weather. Alex Williams in the WSB 24-hour traffic center.
Hey, Sabrina, watching a little bit of volume through downtown. 75-85 northbound, sluggish. Highway 166, Langford Parkway up toward Freedom Parkway. Southbound on and off the brake pedal as well from the 85-400 merge as you head down into the Midtown area. Elsewhere, you got that left lane construction both ways in Fairburn, 85 north and southbound. Highway 74, exit 61. Southbound is slower than the northbound ride. The southbound brake lights start around Highway 138, exit number 64. Alex Williams, 95.5 WSB.
This is WSB meteorologist Christina Upward. Sunny skies today, breezy with a northwest wind gusting 25 miles per hour. Today's highs 81, lows tonight in the mid-50s. Tomorrow, mostly sunny, high 79. Saturday, partly to mostly cloudy with an isolated rain shower possible, high near 80.
77 degrees in Peachtree City. Alpharetta has 74. It's 74 out in Dallas. We'll have more news at noon, breaking news when it happens. I'm Sabrina Cupid, 95.5 WSB.
He's the guy at the desk next to you.
So if you can't handle your real face, then don't tell me how to handle my life.
He's your co-pilot for the ride home.
They have a lot more money now because they stopped kneeling.
Eric Von Hessler.
Things are going to get broken.
Eric Von Hessler.
Today at 3.
95.5 WSB. Atlanta's News and Talk.
Coming up next, Deborah's got tickets to give away to see Metallica, and we are seeing a seismic shift in American home ownership. We'll explain in detail next on The Mark Arum Show.
These days, the Atlanta real estate market is just like Atlanta weather, unpredictable. Hi, I'm Deborah Morton, host of Inside Georgia Real Estate here on WSB every Saturday at 1 p.m. If there was ever a time to work with a true real estate expert, now is that time. In all my years in residential real estate, this is the most change and volatility I've seen. A misstep could cost thousands. This is when experience matters. My team and I are passionate about providing clarity to our clients through our expertise in real estate. So, if you're thinking of buying or selling a home, we can give you that clarity so you can make great choices and the best decisions. And yes, I host Inside Georgia Real Estate here on WSB, but you don't have to wait until Saturday for help. Go to InsideGeorgiaRealEstate.com and ask me anything. My team and I are here for you. Go to InsideGeorgiaRealEstate.com for clarity in buying or selling your home.
This is Scott Slade. Nothing takes the place of time when it comes to spotting problems with your health, especially cancer. The earlier, the better. Like me. My doctor saw one lab work number that led to a diagnosis early enough, so I still had options. Now, that's where virtual imaging comes in. They've got the safest CT imaging option in the Southeast with 98% accuracy. Virtual Imaging's LDCT body scan can be invaluable, giving you time and options for early treatment. They can detect tumors as early as precancerous virtually anywhere in your body, and aneurysms you may not even know are there. For a limited time, Virtual Imaging is offering their LDCT body scan for only $995 per scan. That's a $2,495 value. Now, appointments must be scheduled in May. There are a limited number of scans available at this price, so a few minimum requirements may apply. Don't put this off. I've done it. Call 770-678-SCAN. That's 770-678-SCAN. Or make an appointment by visiting their website at virtualimagingatl.com.
At Kroger, we've lowered prices on over 1,000 items across our stores so you can save even more. Whether you're shopping in-store or online at Kroger, we've lowered prices on thousands of the items your family wants and needs. And with lower prices, your dollar goes further every time you shop with us. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
Here's a fresh deal on steaks. USDA Choice Boneless Ribeye Steaks in the family pack are $10.99 a pound with digital coupon. Limit 5. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
At Butler Lexus of South Atlanta, you're their priority. From personalized service to luxury amenities, they make sure you feel valued every step of the way. Buying or servicing, your experience matters. Call 800-NEW-LEXUS. Butler Lexus South Atlanta, the standard of amazing.
He packed in the animals 2 by 2, ox, a camel, and a kangaroo.
11:37 on, I guess, this getaway Memorial Day Thursday. I don't know. Good luck, safe travels to everyone that is leaving town for Memorial Day. Coming up in 30 minutes as you flee town, I'm going to give you another chance to win $1,000. The WSB Radio 5K a day bonus splits. 30 minutes from right now, I'm going to give you a keyword. You enter it into the WSB Radio app, and you might win $1,000. But you don't have to wait 30 minutes to win a prize on the Mark Arum Show. Yet again, Deborah's done it again. What do we have to give away, my friend?
Metallica at the Benz, June 3rd. A pair of tickets for you.
All right, I'm going to take it easy on Vin because he's got to run up to security and get some packages for me. So, 7th caller to 404-872-0750. 7th caller to 404-872-0750 wins a pair of tickets to see the legendary band Metallica, June 3rd at Mercedes-Benz Stadium. Obviously, we've been monitoring the markets heavily in the last couple of months, but something we really haven't been monitoring is the real estate market. I thought it was time we update that because we are seeing a seismic shift in the American dream of home ownership right now. Joining us live is CEO of Key City Capital, Ty Lassiter. Ty, good morning. Thanks for your time.
Good morning, Mark. It's great to be here.
I know when my parents bought their first home, so many years ago, they fulfilled their American dream. I was able to do it a little bit later in life than my parents. But what's this seismic shift we're seeing right now?
Yeah, well, I think we're seeing, you mentioned it, a change in the American dream. And we aren't going to hash this whole thing out in a short show this morning, but the American dream, which was, created back coming out of the Great Depression, was really created by big banks when they all of a sudden were faced with a dilemma because inflation was so high at that point, nobody could afford to buy a home anymore because mortgages were 5- and 10-year mortgages at that time. So big banks had to come up with an idea on how they could sell a product, and their product being loans. And so they came up with this idea of a 30-year mortgage. And so everybody got accustomed to this 30-year mortgage idea. And, I think it's a great opportunity. It's a great opportunity for many. I've owned homes. I've rented. I do both right now. I actually have a personal residence that I own, and I rent another place. And I think that's the byproduct of what we're seeing right now. We've got young millennials that want flexibility, number one, and coming out of COVID, there's more flexibility because there's satellite offices, people are working from other locations, and so they want that flexibility to be able to be in a couple of places at one time. And so the best way to do that is to rent two places, not own two places. And so it spreads you out a little bit, but it doesn't tie you down. But furthermore, the biggest issue that we're seeing right now is the disparity between affordability of a home and income.
Yeah.
Right now, median household income across the United States is in the low 60s, somewhere between $62,000 and $64,000 median household income. And the median home price across the United States is $440,000. So in order to afford that home, you got to make about $120,000. Well, our median income is half that. And so affordability is just out of the case. But a lot of that is not necessarily from just big investors buying up properties. That's always been the case. The top 1% of Americans have always owned about 20% of the real estate market across the United States. And there's also institutionals that own another big portion of that. But what we're seeing is such a movement of people out of California, New York, the Northeast, and the far West, and they're moving to more states that are a little bit more real estate friendly. They're more business friendly and things like that. And so we're seeing these large population increases in Texas, in Georgia, in Tennessee, in Florida, in the Carolinas.
Ty, let me jump in for a second because that's an interesting point. So, I mean, obviously we see it here in Metro Atlanta. The population keeps growing. We're getting folks from the Northeast, from the Midwest. They're moving here. On the flip side of the coin, is that lowering the price of homes in the Northeast and the Midwest because there are less people there?
It absolutely is. I mean, it's more affordable to buy in some of those places. Like I was looking in Rhode Island, in Massachusetts, really, and Greenwich, which has always been one of the highest per capita homes. And the prices have been a little bit more stagnant there, whereas you've seen these mass increases in the south and southeastern metros, and especially Atlanta. Atlanta's outgrown the infrastructure alone. When I was there a couple of weeks ago, it took me an hour to get from the airport to downtown, which is just unbelievable.
That reminds me, I've got a video about the trip from the airport from a comedian I want to play a little bit later. Ty Lassiter, CEO of Key City Capital, joining us here on the Mark Arum Show. So with that disparity in annual incomes and housing prices, is the American dream dead for a lot of folks?
Well, I definitely think it's shifting. For me, I think the American dream is still very alive. It's just a little bit different. For me, I think the American dream is you can really accomplish anything here, and I'm a byproduct of that. I grew up middle class and have definitely created a successful business. Myself and my brother have, and I have the luxury of having a waterfront property in Florida and a nice place in Dallas, and I've got offices across the United States, and we started with nothing. I mean, at one point, I had to have pizza delivered by my wife's college best friend to our house because I couldn't afford to put groceries on the table. And so, I think the American dream is how do you make your money go to work for you as opposed to stockpiling your money into something, at the end of the day, putting your money in your own personal residence is locking it up in just a high-yielding CD that you can't utilize. And the minute you sell your home, you got to buy a next one, and typically people upsize. And so, I think the best thing that you can do is look for cash-flowing investments and investments that are going to grow and appreciate. And maybe that's not your personal home, but maybe that is real estate. And so this is an opportune time to take advantage of buying real estate, but maybe it's not the real estate that you live in, or maybe it is. Maybe you go out and you buy that fourplex and you live in one of the units and you rent out the other three so that you can afford to live, you know, in the area or where you want to live. And so I think it's just a little bit of a shift in what the American dream used to look like to what it is now. Because really, let's face it, probably your parents, my parents, they lived in a home for over 30 years. We don't do that anymore. I've lived in 5 different homes in the last 10 years. And so, you know, you don't want to tie yourself down for 30 years to a place, and people aren't doing that really anymore. So how do we, I always say how you change is how you succeed. And so how are we going to change with the environment and with the younger millennials, the Gen Zs, and really see where they're going and what their desires are, and let's start shifting the American dream to fit that.
Ty Lassiter said a lot there, CEO Key City Capital. I think the most fascinating thing about that interview, Deborah, was, I didn't know this, that the 30-year mortgage was not a thing before the Great Depression. I hope that wasn't your fact of the day, Longoria.
No, it wasn't. No.
The fact that it used to be 5 or 10-year mortgages.
Wow.
And then the banks came up with a 30-year mortgage to make it more affordable, and thus was built that American dream. I couldn't have afforded a 5 or 10-year mortgage when I bought my first house.
No, not at all.
I can't afford it now when I bought my second house. Crazy. All right, so he mentioned, hopefully I can play this audio, and hopefully it's clean. If it's not, Longoria, I apologize. But I saw this on Instagram yesterday, a comedian talking about driving from Atlanta's airport to the comedy club up in Alpharetta. Let me see if I can play this for you.
Atlanta, nice little spot for a comedy club, you know. We'll split it with Athens over there, but good thing about this comedy club is it's real close to the airport, which I appreciate. No, it was, you know, I took a $65 United flight and a $72 Uber, so it's not a big deal, man. You know, one of those transportation left the ground, the other one didn't. Did you know that? It cost me more to get here from Atlanta than it did from New York City to Atlanta. Insane. I mean, when Uber drivers pick people up headed to Alpharetta at the Atlanta airport, you cannot wipe the grin off of their face. No, it's the last ride of their day. They go, no, Alpharetta. I'm gonna drop you off and I'm going home, man. The price of your ride is my target for the day. I was trying to do $92, and that's what we've got you pegged for.
So that's Derek Yells. I'd never heard of him before, but he was at Helium Comedy Club this weekend, and I thought that was fantastic. Speaking of Helium Comedy Club, tomorrow on the show, very excited, Hannibal Buress is going to join us live. He's at Helium, I believe, starting tomorrow night, Friday night. Love Hannibal Buress. So he's going to be on the show, as is documentarian Ken Burns. So Deborah just knocking that heavy bag of guests, like boom, boom, left, right, left, right, left, right. Hey, congrats to Jason in Jaspa. He won a pair of tickets to see Metallica June 3rd at Mercedes-Benz Stadium. Deborah will have another pair of tickets to give away tomorrow as well. Coming up after the noon news, where I personally am going to give you a keyword in the 5K Day Bonus Blitz. How cool would your Memorial Day weekend be if you're $1,000 richer? Your next chance to win right after the noon news. Winners or losers on Atlanta's roads right now? What do you say, Alex Williams?
Not winning on the outer loop of the perimeter, trying to leave Dorville, heading into Dunwoody. We got police protecting something in the left lane. Looks like something that fell off a truck, some sort of debris. 285 westbound, the outer loop, just before the Chamblee-Dunwoody Road Bridge. So just past the exit for Chamblee-Dunwoody, exit 30. It's in the left lane, stacking up the ride from I-85 Spaghetti Junction. If you were traveling on the south side, 75 southbound, it's gotten slow ahead of the holiday weekend from Mount Zion Boulevard, exit 231, trying to make your way down into Stockbridge, but just volume there. Alex Williams, 95.5 WSB.
In Atlanta, there is always something happening.
Tanker truck crashed into the median.
The Triple Team Traffic Center has you covered.
No traffic getting through in either direction.
Helping you on your commute.
Avoid the area at all costs. Take Highway 155 or Highway 4223.
Brought to you by the Cool Ray Lifetime Parts and Labor Warranty.
95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
Okay, so I want to tell you guys about the Memorial Day tent sale at Georgia Spa Company. So you've been thinking about getting a hot tub or a sauna, maybe a swim spa, even a cold plunge. Those are huge these days. Well, you're not going to find a better time of year to save thousands bringing that relaxation home. Now look, the Georgia Spa Company Memorial Day tent sale is going to end on Memorial Day. Visit GeorgiaSpaCompany.com to find the showroom near you. So come on out today to save thousands at Georgia Spa Company's Memorial Day tent sale.
Attention men, are you suffering from ED or PE? Here's an important message from Choice Men's Health.
I'm Dr. Katz and I'm the Chief Medical Director at Choice Men's Health. Are you performing the way you want to in the bedroom? If the answer is no and you've tried Viagra, Cialis, and Levitra and were disappointed, then you need to come see us immediately. If you don't see results on the first visit, then there's no charge. Many of our patients have medical conditions such as diabetes, hypertension, obesity, and prostate problems. I'm happy to say that we have 98% success rate with all our patients. Our customized solutions will allow you to perform within 10 minutes and last an hour and even longer. You can regain your love life and tackle your ED and PE problems. Guys, your partner will never complain again. Our clinic has the most affordable prices, so if you visit other clinics and you're not completely satisfied, then you need to call Choice Men's Health.
Regain your love life regardless of your age or medical history. Choice Men's Health guarantees results on your first visit or you pay nothing. Call now, 404-400-1170. That's 404-400-1170.
Have you ever walked into your home and thought to yourself, what is that smell? Well, that smell's a sign your air quality needs some help with the air duct experts at Zero Res. Dirt, dust, and allergens, they love to make themselves at home in your home, but Zero Res loves to get them out. Plus, right now, if you mention me, Chris Chandler, you get $50 off your next air duct cleaning. Use promo code AIR50 when scheduling online at ZeroResAtlanta.com today. And ask about Zero Res commercial cleaning, too. Zero Res, all they leave is clean.
Market volatility isn't slowing down. If you're nearing retirement, now is not the time to wait and see. Every day of uncertainty can put your future at risk. It's time to diversify. I'm Jeff Jr. with Trajan Wealth, and I want you to know you can create certainty, locking in guaranteed income for life. This means predictable, stable cash flow, even in turbulent times. You've worked too hard to leave your retirement to chance. Right now, there are options to receive up to 30% upfront or annual growth of up to 10% for retirement income. That's up to $30,000 upfront or up to $10,000 per year on $100,000, all guaranteed for retirement income. Don't wait. Call 404-390-4000. That's 404-390-4000.
Annuity guarantees are based on the claims paying ability of the issuing insurance company. Any examples provided are hypothetical. Annuities are issued with prospectus and sales brochures and should be reviewed carefully before funding as features and benefits vary. DBA in most states as Trajan Wealth Insurance Solutions.
Why do I say Advanced Hair is absolutely the best in the biz? Well, I've been to the facilities, I've met the physicians, I've met the medical staff, I've seen the before and after pictures at advancedhair.com. Without a doubt, they are the best in the business. If you have a receding hairline, bald spots, just not happy with what's going on top of your head, check out Advanced Hair. Quick, simple, one-day treatment. Your real hair begins to regrow the very next day, and it's even guaranteed to grow for life. Best in the biz, friends. If you want to get your hair back, now's the time. Advanced Hair is the place. Takes just one visit, but first, you'll need a free consultation. So go ahead and schedule now. 470-660-HAIR, 470-660-HAIR, or advancedhair.com. And if you move forward, you get $250 off plus 250 free grafts. One-day treatment, life-changing results, the best in the business. Your own natural hair guaranteed to grow online at advancedhair.com.
Seems everything costs more these days. Gas, groceries, and when's the last time you checked your wireless bill? Yikes. When it comes to big wireless, if you're staying, you may be overpaying. Switch to Consumer Cellular and get the same fast, reliable nationwide coverage without the big wireless bill. Plans start at just $20 a month, and that's not a short-term promo. But don't just take our word for it. Here's Jackie and Veronica, real customers.
I didn't know that I could get something for a lot less money that was actually better than who I was with before.
Anytime anybody complains about their cell phone bill, we say, you've got to check out Consumer Cellular.
Our U.S.-based experts will get you switched and saving in about 20 minutes. Just call or click to see how much you can save today. Because when it comes to big wireless, if you're staying, you may be overpaying. Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit ConsumerCellular.com. That's 1-888-FREEDOM or ConsumerCellular.com today. Real people paid to share their opinions in this ad. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing.
I won't sing it. Happy 75th birthday, not to Elton John, Deborah, but singer-songwriter Bernie Taupin was born today. He penned the lyrics for this, your song. I hope you don't mind. God, Elton John's so good. Bernie's so good. Happy 75th birthday. Quick update. The Supreme Court has blocked a bid by a Catholic charter school to get public funding. Legal analyst Lori Levinson has more on the Oklahoma case that I guess the decision just came down.
A Catholic charter school wanted to get public funding, and the argument was that it was discriminating against religion to not allow that. But that would be different from what the law's been up to now, which is to separate church and state and not have religious public schools.
Interesting here, the justice's 4-4 decision keeps in place a lower court ruling. I'm sure Eric Erickson is going to talk about that coming up in just a minute. Can I get on my soapbox for a second, Deborah? Can I complain for a second?
Absolutely.
So first off, star of the show to Drew from engineering. He hooked up my new iPhone yesterday. It's working perfectly. It's great. But guess how many times this morning, Deborah, I had to do that Okra push notification thing on my mail?
12.
No, you're close.
9 times.
9 times.
9 times.
9 times.
9 times.
So for folks that don't know, at WSB Radio, we have this security thing and if you're, I don't know what triggers it, but after a while, you try to log into your email. It's like, hey, we got to verify it's you. Send a push alert to your phone. And I'm getting double now, like 2 of them. And it's happening in the middle of the show, and right before a guest comes on, I'm trying to pull up Deborah's notes on this next guest, and I got to send push 9 times today. What's going on? Are we under a cyber attack?
Is it a new device or something? That's why?
No, it was with my old. It's been going on all week. Minimum 9 times a day.
Usually I just do it once.
That's right, and that's fine. Once is like, I'm verifying. It's me. It's Mark Arum. No one would try to.
Did you click on one of those phishing emails?
No.
Are you sure?
I am like the company's golden child when it comes to non-phishing stuff. So I don't know what the hell. I just had to get that off my chest. It's making my job a lot more difficult. The fact that I have to, and 2 in a row. You do one, and I say, all right, it's going to load up, and it's like, nope, we need to verify it again, jackwagon. And then it sends me another one. Very frustrating. So, and I'm not blaming Drew. He's star of the show. He hooked up my new iPhone yesterday. I know it's not him. This is corporate level. So I just had to say that. It was very frustrating today. But I'm a professional. I fought through it. And we got to the end of the tunnel, which is right now. Longoria is the end of the tunnel. The pot of gold at the end of the rainbow.
Longoria's fact of the day.
Sorry, the voice guy cut you off.
That's all right. Go ahead.
Today is National Solitaire Day. You know the card game?
I do.
And play it alone. Originated in the 18th century in Europe, possibly as a form of fortune-telling. It was initially known as patience in French and became part of the English literature and royalty in the 19th century. The game was famously included in Microsoft Windows.
Oh, yeah.
Developed by Summer Intern, who didn't receive royalties for the popular game.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Well, they didn't invent the game. The game's been around since the Middle Ages.
Who has not played Solitaire?
Oh, back in the old traffic center? I did. And then I could play online poker. And then I changed everything. I went from Solitaire to online poker. All right, happy National Solitaire to all the losers out there that don't have friends that can play poker with. I'm kidding. I love Solitaire. It's a fine game.
Now, are you guys ready for the Mark Arum Star of the
All right,
Show?
I was a professional. I fought through 9 times having to verify my email, so I'm going to get a star of the show. Deborah, great job as always booking guests. Our guest gets star of the show, Kelsey Grammer. Right after the passing of George Wendt, it was great to have in travel expert Peter Greenberg. Kyle Cooper from WTOP joined us live in D.C. on the horrific murder there of the 2 Israeli staffers. Torian Small, CBS News Capitol Hill reporter, joined us live. I'm going to give Mikey Maloney from Bloomberg. We only had him on for a minute, but that wasn't his fault, about the decline of pennies. Amanda Davis, you're sweet, but I'm not giving you a star of the show. Ty Lassiter, you were a little verbose. You're not getting a star of the show. I think that's it. Oh, Louis Martinez from ABC News. Social media is at Mark Arum. Have a great Thursday. Keyword coming up in just minutes. Bye.
WSB Atlanta, WSBB FM, and HD1 Doraville. 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
WSB consumer expert Clark Howard, sponsored by Ragsdale Heating, Air, Plumbing, and Electrical.
Porch pirates is now becoming a steadily bigger problem. More and more online sellers are like, prove it you didn't get that package. If you don't have a secure way to receive packages, rethink how you accept delivery of packages by sending them to a relative or something like that, where you know it's going to be received where somebody is there rather than sending it to your doorstep.
City of Hope, a place where seemingly impossible blood cancers become treatable, curable. With more than 19,000 bone marrow transplants performed, we're the largest and most successful